Good evening and welcome to this session of the virtual coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. The topic we are going to see today is sort of continuing with Pmla. We saw under Foreign Exchange Management Act, not exactly the regulatory, the management aspects of foreign exchange, rather how foreign exchange can be purchased and sold for legitimate purposes in international trade and for domestic and, for international payments by Indian citizens, which are valid and which have no, shall we say, which have no association with any crime. Right. Today, we are going to see the Prevention of Money Laundering Act as amended in 2002. So it's again an older enactment, but it's known when a substantial revamping happened in 2002. So it became the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. The purpose of this law is to prevent, as you can see, money laundering. Now you will obviously be aware of money laundering. I don't think none of you here would claim total ignorance as to the concept of money laundering. All of us know something. You heard of the term, okay? But it's definitely not putting the money in the washing machine and cleaning it up with soap and then hanging it up to dry. No. Though the word laundering is used, the idea here is converting, at the end of a laundering exercise, dirty clothes become clean, right? In a normal laundering process, you have dirty clothes, they go into the machine, they get cleaned, they get squeezed, scrubbed, and then they get cleaned up, squeezed, pressed, and they come out as clean. So this process of cleaning up is indicated in the word laundering. So what is being cleaned up here? Money. Okay. What type of money? Okay. Illegal money. So money laundering is a sophisticated act, okay, of covering up or camouflaging. Have you heard of camouflaging? See, if you've seen some of these GIs and troopers, who are on combat uniform, their dress color would be sort of in brown or olive green and all that. Idea is it will merge with the forest color or green color of the forest and the brown. So that, in an enemy situation, these people cannot be identified. It's like hiding in open sight. So they will camouflage themselves. The word is obviously a French word, which means changing oneself to merge with the environment or surrounding. Okay? A chameleon does this. I'm sure you've seen a chameleon do it by changing its color to suit the plant. Idea is it will become green to suit the stem of a plant. And then when an unwary creature comes nearby, it will catch it with its tongue and eat it. That's what a chameleon does. A lot of animals and species camouflage themselves. So here also what is happening is bad money or illegal money is being camouflaged, covered up, or projected as good money. Okay? So it's a highly sophisticated act of covering up or camouflaging the identity or origin of illegally obtained earnings so that they appear to have been derived from lawful sources. Friends, do not confuse money laundering with tax evasion, which is a totally different concept altogether. Right, sir? Tax evasion is not paying tax by concealment, either by dealing in cash or obviously by dealing in cash or by suppressing income in another manner, or I don't know how they do it. Mostly it's dealing in cash. Some of the sales happens in cash, some of the purchases happen in cash, so that the difference gross profit is totally untaxed. Okay? And so on and so forth. That is tax evasion or overstating expenditure without proper proof. What also? See, ultimately that is called tax evasion. Now remember, tax evasion is one of the sources of illegal money. Means when a person consistently does tax evasion year on year, he will ultimately end up with a lot of cash. Obviously, because most of the, see, where will he keep it? Obviously, it can't go back to the banking circle. Why? Because it's out. If it goes back, it has to go into some account, where it's going to be questioned as to what it is and things like that, which is where money laundering comes in. The money which was sucked out of the system by tax evasion, not necessarily tax evasion, other illegal activities, now is pushed back into the banking system as if legally obtained, which means in money laundering, people will actually pay some money, tax, because the goal here is not tax evasion, but converting illegal money into legal money, which has a cost associated with it. Now, I'm very sorry to inform you, about 10 to 15% of our brethren in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India take great pride in doing this. I know it sounds very bad, but I may be wrong with my statistics. It may be more than that. But because they think it's a great fun to do this. They specialize in money laundering. And some of them may not be members also. They may be non-members. Again, projecting themselves as members of our institute, bringing bad name to us. That could also be possible. But they indulge in this type of conversion of illegal money into legal money. That is why this law has been passed to identify such cases and then punish them very severely. Okay. So it is a process by which illegal funds and assets are converted into legitimate funds and assets. So conversion of illegal money or income into legal or legitimate funds and assets. How this is done? It's a very elaborate schemes are there. The purpose of this lecture, please do not put a question there saying, sir, give me examples of money laundering. I will try to do it. 1 or 2 examples I will give you, but the purpose of this lecture is not to acquaint you with money laundering schemes, but to help you understand the law which says it is wrong and punish it. So that is the purpose. And the consequences of money laundering we need to know. That's all. How it is done, some of you may be even experts in it. I'm not. Okay, I don't know about it. I wouldn't say I didn't know about it, but in Tamil we say Kalavum Katru Mara. In Tamil Nadu, you have I think it's a poem, I don't know, it's a Kalavum Katru Mara. That means even robbery or thieving, learn and forget. Learn and forget. Now, to forget it, why we should learn? That's another thing. Idea is the purpose of this proverb is know everything, but don't do it, but at least know what it is. Like in that spirit, maybe I can show you 1 or 2 simple schemes. Under FEMA, there are many simple schemes. I can show you how money laundering can happen and etc. You will see that. That's no great things there. Please, first of all, don't create that hype about money laundering as if it's a great thing. The people who do it are all big shots. Chartered accountants who know how to do it are the go-to persons. They are known to ministers. They are known to big shots and they attend the big parties. Absolutely. They drive some of the costliest cars in the country. Agreed. Obviously, they will. But check it out. If that's what you want to do, maybe. But then, as we go through this law, please find out what is the punishment for it. More than the punishment, the shame associated with being found out and then arrested or whatever. So let's not bother about that. I'm sure you are young and none of you actually has an intention to do it. But as time goes, many times when I'm conducting the MCS, advanced MCS workshop, I ask my participants, how many of you are ethical? Because one of the 4 pillars of, it's called cake, of the MCS, advanced MCS program is ethics. How many of you are ethical? Everybody will raise their hand. Very promptly. Articulate, they will not raise. But ethical, all of them will raise their hand. Even knowledgeable, they will not raise. Some of them will have doubt about their own knowledge. But about ethics, they have no doubt. We are all ethical. Like that. Then I'll ask them, 5 years later, how many of you will be ethical? Then about 20% of them will not raise their hand because they have understood the question. Today, I have no opportunity. He thinks now correctly. He thinks today I have no opportunity to be unethical. Obviously, without the choice of being unethical, I am ethical. But suppose I had the option, suppose I was standing at the threshold and I had the option to earn a lot of money by unethical or illegal and ability to be just what I am, normal living, without being unethical. So then what I'm going to do? And how important would it be for me to drive that posh car, to own that posh bungalow? How important would it be? Then only the real ethical issues will happen. More about it later. But money laundering is basically the process of converting illegal or black money. You've heard of this, right? Black money of a person into legal or white money. Okay. So these are only words. It's not as if the currency note is actually black or white. Nobody knows. Okay. It is the process used by criminals to see. You notice the word being used here. It is the process used by criminals to wash their tainted money. Tainted means colored. Colored means bad. Okay, bad color. It has a color, tainted, colored. In fact, the vigilance department of the income tax department and other government departments, now what they do, when somebody, see, vigilance cases, how it happens, when a government officer demands a bribe, the assessee or the citizen may then report it to the vigilance department immediately. So what the vigilance people will do now, they cannot take action unless this man is caught literally red-handed. He has to be caught red-handed. Red-handed means while committing the crime. How to do that? So what they will do is, they will give this gentleman, see, after all, that fellow is asking for, say, 5 lakhs. So this guy will give, our gentleman will give 5 lakhs, his own money, and the government will give him another set of currency notes which are marked. More importantly, they will put an invisible powder on them. It will be on all the notes, and they will it will be invisible, and they will give it to this gentleman. It will be fully, that powder will be covering the notes. It won't be known. Then they will say, go and give it to him. So what he will do, he'll go give it to him, and he'll come back. And according to him, the deal is over. But when at that evening, this guy has to leave that building or go wherever it is. Suppose he has asked him to come to a public toilet or a public park, which is where usually it happens, and the money is in a bag. Usually many of these, I'll tell you how these officers escape it also. So this fellow will hand over that money. He will take it in his hand. Or later on he may count it. See, somewhere he has to touch that money. The minute he touches his hand will become tainted. Means it will not become red. At that time he won't know what's happening. Then, as he is doing it, or immediately after doing it, or he might hide it also, they will go and catch him. They'll say, you have taken a bribe. He says, what is the proof? Show me. They'll say, please show your hand. And they'll put a chemical on the hand. Automatically, it will become red color. He himself will know that he's caught red-handed or pink or whatever. That's what's called tainted money. This is only one example of a government officer demanding a bribe. Okay. Just giving examples. I'm not saying all government officers take bribes, but I'm definitely not going to say, no, you cannot come back and say, sir, no government officer is taking bribe. Our country is Achadi Nayega, so nobody, I don't know. If you want to make such tall claims, please go ahead and do it, but then the reality is a different thing altogether. So point is, the fact that such a law is still existing means such crimes are still happening, right? So long as there is a law to punish a crime, it is a proof that the crime is there. Right? In fact, we are discovering newer and newer crimes, and we are passing newer and newer laws. Eve teasing was a crime we discovered when one poor girl got murdered by Eve teasers. We discovered it. Sexual harassment, we are discovering it. Okay, so all this is being discovered, and we are identifying new crimes and creating legal frameworks to punish them, whatever it is. Okay, so we have illegal or black money. Through the process of conversion, it becomes legal or white money. Means somehow this illegal or black money should be bought into the banking system. That is where the money laundering. Actually, that is the weakest link in the money laundering chain also, which is where you can very, very dedicatedly, if you get into it, the electronic banking systems of the world, you can unravel it. We'll see that a little later in the diagram. Right now, the objective of the Act is to prevent and control money laundering. Right? Main purpose. Incidentally, also provide for confiscation and seizure. Okay, that is taking possession of the property and appropriating it to the government, shall we say, treasury. After that, it will no longer belong to that perpetrator or the criminal. It will go to the government of India and be used appropriately. We have to see all this in this today's session. That is what we're going to see. So as usual, certain definitions become very important. I can see that there aren't that many questions because This is basically a very, very hardcore theory. There is no way. But okay. Good. Keep bringing the questions. If you have questions, please ask them. More than happy to take it up. Any property, proceeds of crime. Proceeds means anything realized. Sale proceeds means what? Amount realized by sale of goods. Sale proceeds means amount realized by sale of goods. So proceeds of crime means anything realized by committing a crime. Okay. So any property derived or obtained directly or indirectly by any person as a result of criminal activity relating to a scheduled offense. We'll come to scheduled offense a little later. Or the value of any such property, or such value of where such property is taken or held outside the country, then the property equivalent in value held within the country or abroad. So the value of such property or the equivalent in foreign exchange held abroad or in India. Okay. Proceeds of crime include property not only derived or obtained from the scheduled offense, but also any property which may directly or indirectly be derived or obtained as a result of any criminal activity relatable to the scheduled offense. So related activities are also covered. Directly engaging in the crime, other activities which are supportive. See, if you look at it, in the famous Rajiv Gandhi murder case, I think there were about 14 or 17 accused. Now, the only two people committed the actual crime. The actual act or crime of, murdering our great Prime Minister was done by only two people. Right? And that to one lady. She actually went there and she, self-annihilated herself for the purpose by pressing the belt bomb. Right? But number of persons arrested was something like 17. I forget the exact number. It's a huge number. Some of them didn't even know. See, some of them, that's why some of them are proved innocent. They didn't know that this was being planned in their house. But that these people had sheltered there for doing this. But by association and relationship, they are also getting into the net. So any income or any amount which is derived, not only directly from the crime, but the resulting or other result of any criminal activities also covered in the proceeds of crime. Right? Now, one important thing, somebody deriving money by illegal means, do you think they will be able to declare it in the income tax return? Though technically the Income Tax Act does not distinguish between good income and bad income. They tax both. See, it is not as if the Income Tax Act has a penalty when a person pays income tax on proceeds of crime. If you offer proceeds of crime as income, the Income Tax Department is more than happy to receive your tax. But they will inform the appropriate authority so that authority will come and catch you and ask, where did you get this money and things like that. Okay. But finally, the goal of our money launderer is to bring it into the legitimate channel of banking channels. Okay. Through money laundering. Property is also defined here. Any property or assets of every description, whether corporeal or incorporeal. You can substitute with easier words, which you can easily understand. Tangible or intangible. Corporeal means having a body. Incorporeal means not having a body. Where it is tangible, you can touch it, Touch it, feel it, smell it, taste it, whatever. That is corporeal. This is corporeal, the corporeal body. Incorporeal is not having any tangible body, not having any body. Corpus is body. Corpse is a body. Right? Having a body is corporeal. There is incorporate, bring into existence. Or corporeal or incorporeal. Here the meaning of the word corporeal is having a physical or real existence. Incorporeal means not having physical or real existence, but conceptual, having value. Movable or immovable. They use the word tangible or intangible. Here, see, between corporeal and incorporeal. See, corporeal means having a body. Tangible means can touch, feel, etc. And includes deeds and so don't ask me to distinguish why they are using corporeal, incorporeal, tangible, intangible. They are trying to be like, Hiranyakasipu. They are trying to include everything. Corporeal or incorporeal, movable or immovable, tangible or intangible. Okay, they want to include everything there. And includes deeds and instruments evidencing title to or interest in such property or assets. That's also property. wherever located. The word wherever located, always when you see it, be alerted. It covers property which is situated outside India also. Okay. It includes property of any kind used in the commission of an offence under this act or any of the scheduled offences. For example, sandalwood is a protected commodity by the forestry department. Sandalwood forests are very rare. It's an Indian monopoly. Sometimes I think we, along with one or two of the other Southeast Asian countries, are the sole exporters of sandalwood in the world. Sandalwood as a sandal is from, especially in our country, Kerala, Karnataka, parts of Tamil Nadu, we find sandalwood is there. So, sandalwood is a sort of a extremely valuable thing. So, it's obviously when something is valuable, it makes sense to smuggle it. So, sandalwood is usually smuggled from the forest with the knowledge of the forest department. It is smuggled and brought across the border. And invariably, they'll catch one or two of these consignments. When they do that, they will also, not only will they seize the goods, which is the sandalwood, in, shall we say, contraband sandalwood, without any license, they will cut the sandalwood and take it out without license, they will cut it, or without. So it's an illegal act. So the vehicle in which it is being carried, which is used in the commission of the offence, that is also a property within the meaning of section 2(1)(b). So the owner of the vehicle cannot say, I was not aware of it. He will also be arrested because, see, this vehicle belongs to you. It was used in this activity. Presumption is that you know about it. Which means you are party to the crime. You are an abettor. Okay, you are one of the accessories. So you will have to also come. Then he has to prove, I had no knowledge about it. I didn't know these guys are going to do it like that. And then only his vehicle will be released. Otherwise, his vehicle will be with the police or with the authorities. Okay, seized vehicles will be there. Transfer includes sale, purchase, mortgage, pledge, gift, loan, or any other form of transfer of right, title, possession, or lien. Okay. I'm sure you are well aware that lien is the right to take possession. If you are having physical control over the goods, you can retain possession by exercising your right of lien. Provided you should have physical control over the goods, then you can exercise your right of lien. The unpaid seller has a lien. The unsettled pledgee has a lien, so on and so forth. Because unless the pledge is cleared, he will not return the goods. It's possible. There is also one type of transfer. So lien, possession, all that is transfer. Scheduled offence. In this act, there is a schedule which has part A, part B, part C. Offences specified under part A or offences specified under part B, if the total value involved in such offence is 1 crore rupees or more, or the offences specified under part C of the schedule. So part A, even if it is 1 rupee, covered. Most of these part A offences are related to narcotics, drugs. Very serious. Narcotics is very serious. Narcotics is a serious problem. Actually, India, not saying we're not facing it. We are, especially in the northeast part of the country, drug addiction is very high, leading also to the usage of tainted or infected hypodermic syringes, which leads to AIDS prevalence also in the northeast. Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, these areas, you will find prevalence of AIDS also because of drug addiction, not because of any other reason. Drug addiction. So when I was in Nagaland, I was really wondering how this place is like this. Then they said, no, sir, here the drug usage is very high. So people use the hypodermic syringes without sanitation, or they don't use disposable syringes. And they keep on using it, and some of it gets transmitted. AIDS gets, they exchange the injection. So what happens? Bloodstream, it enters, it goes back. Some portion of it gets injected, so infected, something. So that's narcotics is a very serious offense. Any type of a narcotic related offense would be there. Part B are not so serious, but they're still crimes. So they say value of the offense should be 1 crore or more. Then you can include it. Offenses specified in sorry. Offences, I'll switch. I'm putting it in silent mode. I'm sorry. Offences specified under Part C. Part C also has certain offences, which are also fully covered. You might ask me honestly, should I know all these offences? No. In the question, they will tell you whether it's Part A, Part B, what is amount and all. Just remember Part A, any amount, Part C, any amount. Part B, if the value is more than 1 crore or more. 1 crore or right. So, just to give you an idea where we get the proceeds of crime, okay? Good question. Can we grow sandal tree in our house? Yes, you can. Nothing, no prohibition. You can. It's available. You can get the sandal sapling. Karnataka government, I think they give you. It's good asset. Over a period of time, like teak, you can have sandalwood tree also. But it's very difficult to grow. It needs certain weather conditions and watering and all that. Check out if you can handle that. Right trial, you can grow a sandal. It's not illegal to grow a sandal tree in your house. What you're not supposed to do is go into the forest, cut a sandal tree, which belongs to the government of Karnataka or Kerala government, cut it and bring it out. Okay, that you are not supposed to do. Okay. Which is why sale of sandalwood in public also, it's under license only. So if you go to, which is why, if you find good sandalwood, you buy it immediately. It's very difficult to get good sandalwood today. Okay. Since the question was asked on sandalwood, I would like to see. I'm sure in Kerala or Karnataka, there might be people having sandalwood trees at home. I'm sure they are. Because after all, it's not a crime to grow a. See, you may have to go to the forestry department and inform them that you're growing it. What you may not be again able to do is cut the tree and sell the sandal. Sorry, you can't do that. You can grow a tree. Okay, maybe you can take a little bit of the bark and use it in puja and all that. It's okay. It's 1 or 2 branches, but for your own use, you can't sell it. Okay, no. That is prohibited. You will have to sell it to the government, who will buy it from you. They will auction it. Sandal is a very, just for example, why only sandal, rosewood, teak, all are like that. Okay, control is there. Rosewood also control is there. Forestry department is there. But you can have a rosewood in your house. There is no. But sandal, there is a prohibition on selling. You cannot sell. Okay. Teak and rosewood and all you can grow in your house. And when it becomes big, but there will be 25 years. 30 years. If you are willing to wait for 30 years, you will have the benefit of what you did. So, why only sandalwood tree and teak wood tree? Na? Why not plant a neem tree or a peepal tree or a palasam, we say? That is, I don't know what you call it in Hindi. Palasa is actually in Tamil, we call it arasamaram. Arasamaram, which is a banyan tree, of course. So, these are all grow trees. We need, because it's scarce, no other reason. It's very scarce. And sandalwood is very scarce. It's difficult to grow. And once it's grown, it has a lot of. And there's a huge demand for it abroad in perfumes and all that. So that's why. In fact, in South, we had a famous gangster called Veerappan. I don't know if you know this guy. Veerappan was very famous he was called Sandal Smuggler Veerappan. And he was caught finally. Okay. He became a sort of a folk hero in Tamil Nadu. For about 2.5, 3 years, he was a folk hero. And even movies were made about him where the actors used to depict him and all that. But the reality is something different. Okay. Why would he, sit in the forest? So it's a different. His wife, after he was gunned down by the police in a one ambush, his wife came out. She became a sort of a very short term. She became a heroine, and she wrote a book about him and all that stuff. I don't know, justifying what he did and all. Yeah. Raman, you have to elaborate. FEMA is not covered in this lecture. FEMA was already covered. FEMA is already over. I think the notes I have not shared. I will share all the notes with you in one shot. I will share it. FEMA notes, I will share it. Don't worry. FEMA is already covered. Okay. Good. So these are all some examples of, crime proceeds. I don't have to elaborate this, but each one of them results in generation of cash. Okay. Cash, gambling, robbery, all that. Terrorist acts. Acts of terrorism. See, another beauty is there is a need for cash also. Some of these, for example, terrorism needs cash because terrorists need to spend money to infiltrate the country, to stay, they can't come into the country legitimately. So once they come in, somebody has to give them the currency and, of course, the weapons and all. So weapons need to be purchased. If you want to buy the weapons, you have to pay cash. Nobody. See, in Afghanistan, the current Afghanistan, not exactly Afghanistan, north of Afghanistan, there's a border area. It's sort of borders between Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and all. There's one area where, if you go, there's a valley there where it's an open supermarket of all sorts of illegal weapons. You can get AK-47, Uzi, all the bombs and all that you can get there. It's all like merchants will be there willing to sell, and it's like a supermarket. Just go there and buy and sell. And you decide what you want to do and you go there and shop around. It's like shopping. And then you put it all together. Then comes the problem of taking it out. And you have to pay him cash. So this is the problem. You have to pay cash, how to pay him, all that. Big problem. Okay. I mean, sometimes I think instead of doing all this nonsense, these people can actually do legitimate things, no? Okay. Doing illegitimate act is costlier than legitimate living. Believe me when I say it. In the long run, it is very costly in terms of mental agony, in terms of physical pressure, in terms of shame, Legal is any day better than illegal. Though for a short while, illegal earnings will give you a life of comfort and joy. Right? Payment system, what a fantastic name. A system that enables payment to be effected between a payer and a beneficiary involving clearing, payment or settlement service or all of them. So any payment system means payment to be effected between a payer and a beneficiary, including clearing the payment, settling service, any of them. This payment, right? Payment system includes the systems enabling credit card operations, debit card operations, smart card operations, money transfer operations, or similar operations. Payment system operator means a person who operates a payment system, and that such person includes his overseas principal. So any method by which money can move from point A to point B, from payer to beneficiary, whoever is handling that process, including clearing, settlement, etc., is responsible. We'll see it later on that these people have to keep reporting to their governments. They have to giving periodic reports to government on who sent how much, for what purpose, as at least he has told. And things. See, this is where FEMA and Pmla will come into a sort of a, if that is what Raman Sachdeva wants to know, yeah. So, I'm not really aware, sir. I'll have to verify the schedule and get back to you. Raman, I'll have to verify the schedule and get back to you. You can also do that. Okay, I have not read I don't know the schedule by heart. You can also check out the schedule to the prevention of, just go on Google Prevention of Money Laundering Act. You'll get the act. Go to the schedule and check out where you get FEMA offenses and all. I don't know if it's there. I'll check out because FEMA doesn't have any criminal offenses, crime. So I don't think it's there, but if it's there, I'll check up and tell you. Right? Wonderful. So this is because the payment system is controlled here because most of the time money laundering happens through payment systems, banking channels, other than banking channels, money changers, Western Union money transfer, okay, any credit card, all that. So you have to be very careful about how you see. So these people have to keep frequently reporting on what they're doing. This is where FEMA and Pmla sort of overlap. Some of the data that's collected under FEMA is shared under Pmla with the Enforcement Directorate. When it is suspicious, when the volume is high, when there is a problem, then it is shared with the Pmla, Enforcement Directorate, and they try to take it up. Okay, the source of income, the source of information comes from FEMA. FEMA data will be used in Pmla investigations. Sometimes when a FEMA audit is happening, an RBI audit is happening, they may discover a well-laid scheme of money laundering with the connivance of the authorized person. They might see. I'll give you one simple example of money laundering. Very simply, I'll tell you. Many companies have been guilty of it. Okay, when I come to the diagram, I'll tell you. I'll describe how that money laundering is done. Okay. Money laundering has the meaning assigned to it in section 3 as per 2(1)(p). So you have to go to section 3. This is the definition of money laundering. Whosoever directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assist or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process activity connected with the proceeds of crime, including its concealment, hiding it, possession, keeping it, acquisition or use, and projecting or claiming it as untainted property, shall be guilty of the offense of money laundering. Attempt to indulge or knowingly assist or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process activity connected with the proceeds of crime. Friends, at this juncture, I will have to, I'll just finish this and then we'll go there. A person shall be guilty of offense of money laundering if such person is found to have directly or indirectly attempts to indulge or knowingly assist or knowingly is a party or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with, okay, proceeds of crime, including its concealment, possession, etc. Now the point is, once you show that this situation is there, then that person shall be guilty of the offense of money laundering. Straight away. For the removal of doubt, they once again clarify how it is. So basically, it's about handling proceeds of crime. How? By concealment, hiding it, keeping it with you, acquiring it from somebody else, or using it by spending it, and by projecting, means by claiming that it is untainted property. It is clean. Untainted means not having any taint or mark. Clean. Okay, is the point. Now, in about, I don't know when it was released, there was a movie called Shivaji by a very famous South Indian actor, which was very popular at that time. The movie was directed by another gentleman called Mr. Shankar. Now, point is, the movie had its avowed goal. The goal of this movie, I'm sure you watched that movie, Shivaji. So I think it was dubbed in Hindi also, because most of these movies are this movie of this superstar. I think you know what I'm talking about. Rajinikanth movie, Shivaji, Rajini star Shivaji, famous movie because people who watched that movie, were so disgusted with tax evasion, not paying tax to the government of India, etc. And so Mr. Rajinikanth came out as a crusading hero, going around collecting the cash from all the evaders by, sort of going in as income tax officer. And it's a typical thing, go in as income tax officer, they will believe you, then you take the money and you run away. So, but then the only twist in the tale is that this guy takes this money and he cuts a deal with them. See how beautifully what ethics, yeah. He goes to the guy who's evaded tax and he tells him, 50% I will take. Okay? And he takes it. And then he takes all this money and he stores it in a cow shed. You see that movie, he stores it. So in other words, what has happened here? He is involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime. What crime? Evasion of tax. So all these criminals, including the main villain, were guilty of the crime of tax evasion. They were hiding the cash and other valuables in some many places. Once they got this fellow's thing, they realized that he knows it. they realized that he knows where it is concealed. Who told him? Absurd. I believe the chartered accountants and the drivers and all that, we know everything. And that a very, very silly scene there. When I saw it, I was very disgusted with this gentleman. I wish his auditor should have protested strongly when he was shown. And then, but again, the logic would be, I am a clean person. He is only attacking those people who are doing stuff like that and all that. Whatever may be the justification. Point is, what is he actually doing? He is taking possession of the proceeds of crime, rightly or wrongly. Then what he does, he collects all that money and gives it to many auto wallahs. Who are these auto wallahs? Go to that movie and see. Particularly see that movie for that scene. Clearly one group is targeted there and shown as criminals, which is unfair on them also. Unfair on such people also, that as if only they will do that type of activities. And so they take that money in the autos, and then some magic happens. And the same money turns up in the US as US dollar in cash. That's it. That's money laundering, Baba. How did it happen? This cash goes to the drug fellows here who use it to pay for the drugs. Then their corresponding criminal fellows in Chicago or wherever they are, that fellow pays $1. I'm sure there's some amount of loss in that process. Nobody will do it free of cost for you. All this is, see, in a movie, it's easy for you to bowdlerize it and make it look very fanciful and all, but it's nothing but money laundering. So the money is taken here by these people. They use it for criminal activities, terrorist activity, according to the movie. Terrorist activities, narcotics and all, because that needs local cash, right? The same equivalent amount of money in foreign exchange is handed over to various people in the United States of America, Indians, so-called legitimate Indians, diaspora. What they do, each one of them takes say $1,000, $5,000, $2,000, and he deposits in his bank account. This is called money laundering. By seeing that movie, even person who does not know how to do money laundering will now learn how to do money laundering. While their goal was to highlight, tax evasion and crusading, whether they like it or not, they are encouraging people to do money laundering. Because then what happens? That money gets collected in all the bank accounts in the US, and then beautifully through the electronic system, banking system, it starts coming back to India to Shivaji Foundation through banking channel. Shivaji Foundation then does many good things, blah, blah, they develop it and all that. It's good. But point is, you have done crime, yeah. I don't know why the director was not advised suitably. But see, the problem here is, being a chartered accountant, if I go and tell things like this to movie actors, they will get very angry. Once I was traveling with a very famous movie actor to Pmla, where, see, I can keep my mouth shut now. I went to this guy and told him, there was a movie called Puli Murugan. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a beautiful movie. Mohanlalka movie. I like that movie. But one problem is that the tiger that they are showing in that movie, the final scene where Puli Murugan goes and finally kills it, which I suppose that tiger only killed his father in the first scene or whatever. I don't know. Like as in our good old Hindi movies, the villain, Gabbar Singh, that he'll go again and kill him and whatever. Now the point here is, this tiger was a Royal Bengal tiger. Whereas the movie is shot in and around Kasaragod. Now, Kasaragod, you don't have actually such fully grown tigers, definitely not a Royal Bengal tiger. What you do have is normal tigers, okay? And you have leopards. Rarely will you get such a fully grown Royal Bengal tiger in Kasaragod. This is a physiological fact. But unfortunately, we'll go to Sabarimala in the Benz car with this gentleman, that's movie actor. I told him, sir, realism, there should be some realism. You could have had. The fellow got very angry. He started shouting at me. He said, sir, who is asking you to do all these things? In movie, we will show only what is false. Like that. I mean, one other relative of mine who's a producer and other producers, don't do this. Like, this is not your CA class or your, lecturing and training programs. This guy will get very angry. Be quiet. So no realism, nothing. Only movieism, wherever they will be. So Shivaji taught me, Shivaji the movie, taught me money laundering. It will teach you also. Just from after I have told you, go and see. Perfectly, he has taught money laundering in that movie. You might ask me how you are telling this in this forum, sir. Nothing wrong. The movie is a public movie. It's available online. I'm sure it's available on Netflix. Just go watch it quickly. Skip through all the item numbers and all that, and just watch the main scenes, which I have described to you. How he collects it is the first half of the story, right? How he disposes it and brings it back to India. As a student of money laundering, you should see that. Student of money laundering. Prevention of Money Laundering Act, you should see that. How beautifully money gets laundered through a process. Okay? Anyway, the process or activity connected with proceeds of crime is a continuing activity and continues till such time a person is directly or indirectly enjoying the proceeds of crime. See, here the beauty is he doesn't enjoy the proceeds of crime. Instead, what he does is in Shivaji movie, I'm telling, Rajnikant gives it back to society. Does it justify what he did? Does it justify cutting a deal with criminals? Does it justify money laundering? So this is a question I think a few people like me, idiots like me, intellectuals, they raise this question. But the bulk of the country prefer to pay that 70 rupees or 120 rupees and watch this movie and sing the praises of both the superstar and his director that, see, they have identified money laundering, tax evasion, in fact, stuff like that. Okay, is the point. Anyway, so, see why I'm telling no. When doctors are shown in a bad light, they will really object. They'll even go, they'll strike. When lawyers are insulted, they will strike. You and I, chartered accountants, when we are insulted, what we can do? Accept it and go on with our lives, serving society the best way we can. I mean, sorry, I'm just crying on your shoulder, but I know some of you will get very angry because you might be knowing some corrupt chartered accountants. Definitely there are, but that doesn't make that the rule. It's the point. Anyway, very, very, very delicate topic, which is it's about illegal and all that. So we have to talk like this only. And I'm giving some examples from popular movies, my dear friends, not to sort of, waste your time, but rather see, you can learn from anything. My guru, the great past president of our institute, C.R. Bhupati, told us, you as a chartered accountant should see everything and observe the society, observe what's happening. And every time you do that, you should learn something and not just waste your time, but you should learn. So whatever it is you can extract. See, out of this stupid Shivaji movie, I think 2 hours or 2 hours and 55 minutes, a 3-hour movie. Only in India, you people watch for 3 hours now. Most important foreign movies are 1 hour, 95 minutes, 120 minutes maximum. 120 minutes, that is Ben-Hur. Those days, Ben-Hur, Bible, 3 hours, 4 hours movie. Ben-Hur was 4-hour movie. Today, 90 minutes. If you cannot tell the story in 90 minutes, don't bother. Don't waste your time. Go. Okay, maximum 120 minutes. You have to be able to tell the story. Close it. Okay, this is the current trend in international audiences. In India, still we are willing to sit for 3 hours in that theater watching all the nonsense. Okay, so cut all the crap and go to the story. You will suddenly find that some of these things are actually good for learning. Okay, that's the point. A famous Thiruvalluvar, he says, Yappurul, Yat Tanmai Tayinum, Appurul, Meipurul Kanbadarivu. Whatever may be the nature of a thing, an intelligent person will learn from that. Okay, it doesn't matter what that thing is. It's what is that thing teaching to you. So everything has a lesson to teach us. We should be tuned and sharp to learn that lesson and apply it in our practice or in our life or in our work. Okay, is the point. So here are some of the popular ways through which money is laundered. Wow, fantastic. Stock markets, especially when the market is collapsed on one single day. In those days, they used to be able to book bogus transactions and book bogus losses, set it off against profits and all, and use that money, that negative loss, they will pump it into the system and take it out. All that they used to do. So if somebody will make a loss, set it off. Another person will obviously have a profit, right? That will be the black money. They will transfer. So they will settle between themselves in white, but cash will be transferred separately. Are you able to understand? We both enter into bogus transactions where you will make a loss, you will set it off against your profit. Right. I will make that loss is for you. Now from you, I have taken now that money profit, which I will show will be that money that I got from you. I will take it and show it as white. And I will take it like that. So both of us can get the money. And a lot of things happen. Today, it's not possible. Today, stock markets are too transparent for that. Minute by minute, you can track. It's not possible to do anything. Earlier, with online, non-online broking or floor trading, you could do all this nonsense. Brokers were doing all this stuff. Today, with T+2, T+1 settlement, you have to pay and go. There's no question of all this. Agricultural products, still, you can pay in cash. So you can show as if you have paid for purchase of agricultural products. That money will go there. Again, you will show income in your business, and that income will become white. So on and so forth. Idea is somewhere you should be able to give cash and get white money back into your business, right? The money should come back to you as white. There may be a degree of, shall we say, tax payment, which is where tax planning experts are there, who will minimize the tax implication in these transactions by doing all sorts of elaborate planning and all that stuff. Property markets still a very short while could actually absorb a lot of the black money by in sale transactions. You could actually cover up, you could understand, so on and so forth. But one of the famous ways of money laundering is still import and export. Sorry. I'm dreadfully sorry. Just give me 1 minute. I'll come back to it. Yeah. This import and export, classic money laundering scams have happened. If you now relate this with FEMA, that export and import, there is the important concern in export and import is the export should not be understated, import should not be overstated. Export should not be understated, import should not be overstated. So invariably what they will do is, I already told you, right? This is typically hawala. Hawala is another term for money laundering. I think it's a local term from the north part where you talked about it as hawala, not halwa. That is what you give to the government. This is hawala. Okay, so false export-import invoices are there, then goods are shipped, and these export or import invoices are settled in the ordinary course of export business. I'll give a typical example. From my own practice, I'll tell you. I didn't do money laundering, but there was money laundering. Blatantly money laundering happened. I couldn't do anything. I'm the auditor, I'm signing the balance sheet, I can't qualify. I know it's happening. This beautiful story. See, the gentleman who assigned me, I was the early stage of my practice. I was 28 years old. One of my first clients, he calls me and he says, Srikanji, I want to incorporate a company and all that. We incorporated for him. Then I prepared the project report for him, went to the bank and obtained the bank loan for a very short, small loan, initial loan for setting up the factory and all that. And then we wanted to import machinery from Australia. It was a very, I won't name the product because then it will let the cat out of the bag. Something to do with construction industry. Okay, it's a very advanced product about automatic things, automation of buildings and all that. Beautiful product, little advanced for its time, but it went off well. It was good, well received. So they decided. So at that time, that was 97, 98, shall we say, immediately before the KP scam, when the market was bullish again, market was going up, and IPOs were coming in a big way. That was when VSNL, all that came. A very popular time. Very, shall we say, very interesting time when, the Chinese have a curse which says, may you live in interesting times. So I have lived in such interesting times. It's a curse, because when you live in interesting times, you're constantly put in pressure. So this guy, he did this. He went public. I was with him. I, myself and a couple of other consultants in merchant banking, we floated the public issue. It went public. At that time, 97, 98, they collected 8 crores. 8 crores oversubscribed. It went up to 15 crores. They allotted 8 crores. 8 crores bank may have. It is in the bank. Then This guy orders the machinery from Australia. Australian counterparty is known to him. He's not owning shares here, but the counterparty and this guy are very good friends, overly good friends. So this guy goes to Australia, Sydney. He sits, he negotiates the deal. Then they fix the price at 3.5 crores. They fix the price at 3.5 crores. Then in addition to that, raw material also had to be imported. They fix that also. All told, they fix the price at 5 crores or something. They have collected 8 crores. So 3 crores is lying there. Actual value is only maximum 4.5 crores in all said and done. Okay, 4.5 crores, 4.5. Remaining 3.5 crores is there in the bank. So as part of the project report, it's there. We have taken at the time of preparing the project report and all, he gave me quotations. There's only one guy who's manufacturing this entire thing. This whole technology is not only one guy in the whole world. Globally, he's the only guy. He's in Australia, Sydney. So he gives me a quotation. I look at it. Then I go online. At that time, there was no online. I go around, verify whether similar product is available elsewhere. Not available. Similar items not. There are similar items, but not the same. You can't get this brand. Something. Even similar brand prices are equal or more than this. Some of them. Branded. Similar items, similar technology, but different brand, similar technology items are a little more than this. Well, actually cheap. So what I got the quotation for. Then I get it. And the goods come in. The price that I get is not 3.5 crores. What I see in my quotation is 6.5 crores or nearing 7 crores. Plus customs duty. All told 8.5 crores. Okay. Bank funding was also there. Shareholders' money was there. All told about 12 crores was there. 8.5 crores was used for payment for this. It came through customs. Customs inspected, saw that, shop paid, customs duty paid, bill of entry is coming. Now I am the chartered accountant. I know. I have been told, not by him openly. He said, Srikanji, this happened later. At that time, I'm not even aware. He's given me a number. I'm taking project, machine comes in, balance sheet prepared, sign, moving on. 4 years later also, that stock is not moving. The fellow is doing badly. Company is doing badly, not declaring dividend. Shareholders account. But this guy is doing extraordinarily well. And finally, he moves to Australia. He moves to Sydney. And sort of enjoying that. And once when I was conducting the audit 1 year, I went to him and I said, sir, stock, I think, is not moving. We have to reduce the value. He said, how much are you going to reduce? I said, cost or realized value. I'll tell you what the realized value. So he got a quotation of the same guy, almost similar to what I'm having in my. I said, sir, this is definitely not worth so much today. No. According to you, realizable value. This is the realizable value. Take it. I got the quotation. And then he told me very casually, Srikanth, I did money laundering. What are you going to do now? I can't do anything. Everything, all documents are there, including government supported document is there for capital goods. Ultimate money laundering scheme. You know what has happened? The total value is only what? We said 3.5 crores, 4.5 crores. The remaining 3.5, 4, almost 4 crores goes out of India through FEMA, through your import payment. At the time, it was not FEMA, it was FERA. It goes through the regulatory framework, it goes. The bank makes the payment to that. Then our man goes to Sydney and he is given Australian dollar in cash. Or I don't really know what happened. It could be that he got it in cash or it was credited in an account, offshore account, undeclared account, or maybe it went. See, that is how money laundering happens. It goes through various routes. Maybe they would have transferred that money to a Cayman Island account, and from Cayman Island it would have come to Singapore, and from Singapore it will come back to Australia. One never knows what happens. So basically, placement is bringing the illegal funds or assets into the financial system. That happens. See, the illegal part is the 3.5 crores because that belongs to the shareholders of the company who are losing. That's it. The company went into liquidation and all, and I think obviously, how can the company run with this type of management? Actually, those were my eye openers. You might ask me, sir, how come you became an auditor for such a company? Absolutely. See, all of us are young. No, that was very young. I made the mistake. Then slowly, as I learned from these mistakes, I stopped making them. And I started analyzing the ethical background of my clients and decided that I will not work for unethical clients. In 2000, it was firmly placed. 94, 95, when this all happened, 97, when this incident happened, I was confused. Then I got my clarity in 2000. And from 2000 onwards, that's it. My practice became totally different. I stopped doing for these people, such people. Once I saw that this guy is ultimately that type of a character, I'll initially tell him, sorry, thank you. And I started, there's a vacuum in my practice now, because of the exit of these bad fellows. That vacuum was filled by good clients, extremely good clients, corporates, multinationals, who wanted to be ethical, who wanted compliance, who wanted me to advise them on compliance, and were willing to pay the taxes, willing to meet their commitments honorably at any cost, and run profitable businesses which will pay tax, pay dividend, pay me good fees, take good income to their management also. Everybody happy. So just giving this example to you, not to waste your time, but to tell you, because this topic is closely linked with illegal activities. It is tempting for a member of the institute, especially a younger member, to think it's something great. Believe me, it's not. Okay? Money laundering. Somebody is saying I'm socializing in money laundering. Spit on that fellow and chase him out of here. Don't talk to him at all. If he is wearing a costly suit and a costly watch, don't be impressed by that. Okay? So, layering. This is another technical term. Use of multiple accounts, banks. Did you see how I layered? This fellow layered his money. Money goes from Australia to Cayman Island, from Cayman Island to Singapore, then Singapore to Australia again. Why is he doing all this? To disguise the origin. But it's actually, this is called circulation or circular movement. Very, very, very wrong. You can't take out of this country and bring back to this country. Sir, most startups are money laundering business. Sir. I'm sorry to say this. Most startup companies are money launderers. It's exactly what they do. They take the money out, then finally it comes back as investment in the startup. Right? Sorry to say this. Okay, that's how it is. I'm not saying all. I'm saying most of these startups are, most of the airlines are money laundering activities. Same method. They bring in as FDI and white money comes in as FDI, but how it went out is what you should be more worried about. Then Shivaji will teach you. Shivaji will teach you how to take it out. Then he will bring it in again as FDI, equity, or startup equity, venture capital funding, back into the country. Okay. So, use of multiple accounts, banks, intermediaries, corporations, countries, etc. to disguise the origin. Countries means there are certain very, very dirty countries they are actually great holiday destinations. All the Caribbean countries, especially Antigua, Cayman Island is not a Caribbean country. Cayman Island, Maldives, these are all countries where the tax laws are very relaxing. Hong Kong for that matter. The territory of Hong Kong, and all that. Very good. But Singapore, you can't play that. Singapore, straight away arrested. If you play any games, but you can open an account in Singapore, deposit money, take it out, nobody will tell anything. But start a business in Singapore, you're gone if you do circular movement. If you try circular there, gone. Okay? If they see you doing it, you'll be arrested. No talking. Arrested straight away. Okay? Integration. Then finally the funds are made available as apparently legitimate. In other words, my friend will open a Benami account in Australia, into which account this money will be legitimately credited. Maybe even he will pay some tax in Australia and use it there to purchase a palatial farmhouse or a nice place and then settle down in Australia. Right? Funds are made available as apparently legitimate. So I have hopefully helped you to understand how money laundering is also done. There are many methods. I gave you one example. But in all cases, there will be one simple common element, which is placement. The physical disposal of the bulk cash proceeds derived from. This is the most dangerous and this is the most weakest link, which our friend Shivaji solves by giving to the autowalas. Go and see that movie. The autowalas, what they do with it, please. That money is used in narcotics, prostitution, terrorism, all that. All those areas where cash is needed, this money is used. So on and so forth. Okay. This is the first step in the money laundering process, and the ultimate aim of this phase is to remove the cash from the location of acquisition. so as to avoid detection from the authorities. This is achieved by investing criminal money into the legal financial system, by opening up a bank account in the name of unknown individuals or organizations and depositing the money in that account. It may involve use of smurfing techniques through which the launderers make numerous deposits of amounts of money that are small to avoid raising suspicion. See, Pmla itself gives the limits. You'll be seeing later. Bank has to report in any account, a savings bank account, if the volume of cash transactions is more than 10 lakhs, you have to report. You'll see that later. But if you don't do 10 lakhs, if you do 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, you are well below the radar. So you open many accounts and you deposit 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs into that account and then you take it out. See, I'll tell you, okay, I have done money laundering, or rather I have advised money laundering. When? Not correct. Not in a circumstance when I did not know what to do. I was referred, one person was referred to me by a good friend of mine, who, not my client, but they came to me and they were a widowed lady and her daughter. Their only asset was a very nice prime property in a prime location in my native city of Chennai. Good property. But the local politician, the MLA or whatever that is, he had an eye on that property and he was willing to pay the price. It's not that he was cheating the widow by, it so happens at that time, that was before your demonetization and all that stuff, property prices were easily 3 to 4 times the guideline value. The value of property was easily 3 times, 3.5 times the guideline values. So the guideline value means the value fixed by the stamping authority was very small. Means, okay, about 2/3 of the whole property value. The remaining 1/3, which amounted to almost, at that time, about 1 crore 30 lakhs, was there. The beauty is, our friend tells this people, the great MLA tells the person, I cannot pay by check. I don't have white money. Okay. If you want that property to be purchased by me, you should accept to pay, take cash. Hold on, 4.5 crores cash. My God. So they came to me and did not know what to do. Literally, because they need the money to perform the marriage, then maybe this lady will buy a smaller apartment and then live happily ever after. This money is there. Way out. Found that man has earned and invested, and this is what to do. So this guy, then I told them some ideas. Opening the placement of that money. Slowly, for that, sorry to use that word, dirty fellow, that politician, these innocent citizens of our country, he did money laundering. Because they needed that money, they took it, property was registered. And the cash, that lady slept sleepless nights for 1.5 months and opened multiple accounts in various banks across the city, across the state. They deposited, then collected everything in one account. Finally, they got their 4.5 crores back in 3-4 accounts, then they put it in FD. Now they're happy. Luckily, it was all small amounts. So smurfing was done. What to do, you tell me? Maybe I plead guilty before my students. 5th of September is the Teacher's Day. So the teacher is confessing to you. What to do in certain... see, my religion tells me in certain circumstances, doing the wrong thing is also right. Dharma is what is doing the right thing. Correct. But what is right will change from time to time. Dharma is a moving target. In this case, I felt dharma. Because this widowed lady, her daughter's marriage, whom to blame? The society which encouraged this politician? The system that was made this fellow capable of talking like this? Thanks to that, afterwards, all this, a great man took over the reins of our country, and today this cannot happen. Imagine, today this cannot happen. This type of holding huge amounts of cash, not possible. Thanks to demonetization and all that, we are now out of such things. Good. Layering is the movement of funds from institution to institution to hide their origin. So placement is first depositing. Layering is moving. It consists of putting funds which have entered the financial system through series of financial operations to mislead potential investigators. I gave you 2 or 3 excellent examples. See, these people also, then I told them how to do it. Diagram, we prepared diagrams. And then all tore it up and burnt it. Okay, which account to which account, which account to which account, finally collected in one account. Sure, nightmare. Finally, integration. Reinsertion of the laundered proceeds back into the economy. Wow. In such a way that they re-enter the financial system as normal business funds. The funds may be reintroduced in the economy, though, for instance, the purchase of luxury items or through investment in assets, such as shares in a company or real estate. So, of course, this lady did not buy luxurious items. Yeah, she bought a small 3-bedroom flat where she lives, and the remaining money she deposited for her long-term, retirement. This happened about easily 10 years ago, but it's still in my memory. When I think, I don't know what happened to her, what happened to the daughter. They were not my clients. They just came to me on a referral, and I saw that they applied and I advised them how to do it, for which they were very grateful, and they were nothing. I didn't charge anything for this. Okay. So obviously, so here is the typical money laundering scheme. Okay, and placement, depositing with the bank, layering, pushing it through many accounts till you bring it back. Do you see the circular motion here? Do you see the circular motion? The circling is a very dangerous thing. When earlier under FEMA itself is an offense, now in Pmla it's an offense. If this is discovered, gone. How circling happens? You deposit the money in bank accounts, then transfer it to make it white. Once it gets deposited, then you collect. You can't do it from that account itself. You transfer it to another account, corporate account, then you transfer it to another account. From there, you take it to some other country, ideally. That's where, from India, it's very difficult to transfer money. LRS is being misused for that. And transfer it to various sources, take it out, then take it to countries which are neutral on tax treaties and extrication, and then bring them back and all that stuff. Okay, I don't know. People do this a lot. I don't know why. Then, of course, finally, you take it out of the system and use it to purchase white money. Do you notice the color of the arrow marks? Green is sort of going into the system. Then red is where the dangerous part happens, where it keeps moving around. And then finally, the money is integrated into the purchase. So what happens is, there is transfer, deposit in one bank, then the dirty money integrates, then it's transferred from the bank to the account of company X, wire transfer to an offshore bank. Okay, that is where it becomes murky. Then the offshore bank gives a loan to a company Y, then payment by company Y, a false invoice to company X. This is where FEMA violation also happens, where company Y makes the payment to X. This is where the money actually goes through banking channel. In our Shivaji example, the money goes out of India through non-banking channel. There it gets deposited in US and it comes back to India. That's a difference, slightly different theme. So on and so forth. Anyway, see, a trained chartered accountant, especially forensic trained man, immediately when we see that balance sheet, and when we see 5 years balance sheet, and when we see the movement of funds and we see how it's happening, straight away I'll come out and say, hey, money laundering scheme, like that I'll go to the promoters and say, have you been doing money laundering? No, sir. So please don't waste my time, because the minute I touch one part, it will collapse. I know where to touch and it will collapse. The entire thing will collapse. It's criminal. Don't involve me, bye. Okay. So they won't even know. They think they can cheat a chartered accountant. Okay. It's not possible. Once you see the moment, you'll know. Immediately, you know where it's. We can even go to the extent of saying how it was done. Also, we can find out from the way there the money comes in. From the way the money comes in, we know where the money went. Or how the money went. Anyway, so money laundering, I hope I have given you some good background or foundation. Idea here is not to encourage it, but to say don't do it, and so on and so forth. Absolutely, there are many loopholes still. For example, LRS itself is a beautiful loophole. $250,000, no questions asked. It goes out of India, white. Okay, how to make it? See, here you have to do some money laundering. Here you can do some placement, clearing, and use. That's why they are very stringent. See, they keep asking you, but finally, bottom line, Baba, see which bank can find out. So thank you, Pooja, for that. But exactly, see, sometimes we have to take the call based on the circumstance. What is dharma? We'll keep on redefining for ourselves. Good. So, punishment for money laundering is very stiff. Okay. Offense of money laundering, 3 years and fine. And fine. Minimum. Maximum, 7 years and fine. Where the proceeds of crime involved in this is very important. So, in the exam, they will keep asking you about that paragraph 2 of part A, where the proceeds of crime involved in money laundering relate to any offense specified under paragraph 2 of part A of the schedule. There is offenses under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, 1985. Okay, paragraph 2 of part A. If you are very curious, please go to the Money Laundering Act and go through the schedule. No need to mug up and look at part 2, paragraph 2 of part A. Okay, and so part A offenses, do you remember? Part A offenses, schedule offense. Part A offense, even 1 rupee. Sorry. Yeah. Part A, even 1 rupee is scheduled offense. Part B only you have 1 crore rupees or more. So here, a part A, paragraph 2 of part A. Paragraph 2 of part A of the schedule, mostly offenses under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. So that paragraph A itself is, part A itself is tough. Under part A, paragraph 2. So you have to be, paragraph B, if it is above 1 crore. Paragraph C, even 1 rupee. Total. Offense of money laundering, 3 years and fine, 10 years and fine maximum for where it's drug related. Okay, drug related. Okay. Of course, another movie, which in Tamil again, I'm sure it was dubbed in Hindi also, by Surya, the movie called Iron. And that's more about smuggling than about money laundering. But believe me, smuggling and money laundering are like Bayo. They are like brothers. So if this is a elder brother, Bada Bhai, this is Chota Bhai. So if there is smuggling, automatically there will be money laundering. So if there is money laundering, somewhere European smuggling is involved, somewhere the reverse. See, we saw recently that the circular has come by which any aircraft which is lying there in the airport, which is on a lease, and the lease rentals are not there, and they want to repossess the aircraft, they can take it out. They can export it back to their country. By not declaring any value, they can take it out. Okay, something very interesting that may become a possibility for money laundering, smuggling, and all that. Be very, very careful about that. Okay. Mr. Honest, notorious. Notorious means well-known criminal, was caught in process of counterfeit currency notes, in possession of counterfeit currency notes. An offense specified under Part A, paragraph 1 of the schedule of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So they are giving it very clearly. So you don't have to worry. Except remember, Part A, if it is Part B, amount should be 1 crore or more. Offense should be 1 crore or more. This is Part A. Paragraph 2, the punishment is higher. The maximum punishment is higher, right? The maximum punishment is 10 years and fine, right? This is Part A offense, paragraph 1, not paragraph 2. So, state the punishment. Also identify the punishment for the offense specified under Part A, paragraph 2. This is the answer. If it's paragraph Part A, paragraph 1, then 3 years minimum fine, 7 years maximum fine. Paragraph 2, 3 years and 10 years. So, actually, this question carries 4 marks. And according to me, it's a very easy question if you know the answer. If you've seen its ugly face, then you know what to write. You get 4 marks, not 4 marks, 3.5 marks, 3 marks. Write it neatly, 3.5 marks. If they convert this into a multiple choice question, 2 marks. Straight. Offense, simple multiple choice now. Okay. Punishment for offense under the Money Laundering Act, where the proceeds of crime relate to offense specified under paragraph 2 of Part A of schedule. The maximum punishment. So A, 3 years and fine. B, 7 years and fine. C, 8 years and fine. 4, 10 years and fine. D is the answer. 4 is the answer. Multiple choice will make it even easier for you. You get more 2 marks for this. Just try to remember this. this thing. Okay. Good. We are moving on to another very interesting area. Before that, Dawood Musa. See, these names are also suggestive. No, what do you say? I don't like this type of approaches. The names are not fair. Dawood Musa. Why only Dawood Musa? Why not Srinivasan or Subramanian? Huh? Or Christopher or Robert? Why only Dawood Musa? A known smuggler, because there was a smuggler called by that name, Dawood, if you remember, and there was Haji Musa and Dawood. Both are well-known smugglers. Dawood is a well-known smuggler, and there was an earlier case of Haji Musa. Haji means man who has gone to Hajj and was a known smuggler. So both of them are well-known smugglers. In those days, they used to smuggle gold. Musa used to smuggle gold and into and outside India. Gold smuggler. Because gold was then controlled commodity, even now it is. So importing gold was, in those days, today you can import gold. The duty is very easy. But in those days, the duty was very high. So they used to import small gold and bring it into India, for which there was a huge premium there. So therefore, this Musa was a gold smuggler. There is another law which is not in your syllabus, which is called CAFE POSA, Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act. Our man was detained under CAFE POSA many times. Okay, when you see iron, it is CAFE POSA. Okay, Shivaji is Pmla, iron is CAFE POSA, where constantly he'll be detained for 48 hours. Haji Musa. That's why it's called Dawood Musa. Dawood was also a very well-known smuggler, I'm sure. You know Dawood. And Mumbai is a very famous Dada, Dawood. And I think Dawood Ibrahim, I don't know what his name was. Dawood. And a known smuggler. In fact, some of the properties of Dawood came for auction very recently in Mumbai. And a very brave officer auctioned it out and sold it. Okay. Because Dawood's case here, he simply shoot you and go. Mumbai man. Okay. Mafia will just come and shoot you and go. So he took the risk. So Dawood Musa, a known smuggler, was caught in transfer of funds illegally exploiting narcotic drugs from India to some countries in Africa. State the maximum punishment that can be awarded to him under the Prevention of Money Laundering. The same, again, all this Dawood Musa and all is making it very colorful. But the answer is a very, very bland punishment. Maximum punishment. Okay. Narcotic drugs, be alerted, part 2. Paragraph 2, part A, paragraph 2. So maximum punishment 10 years. Right? So this is the point you have to remember. Okay. Now, casually, just out of interest, I was just going through, reading again the 4th chapter to reinforce, because it's about Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Karma Sannyasa Yoga, where you start doing karma only for, without any attachment to the act. You do it, then let the benefit of the act move. Go whatever. Don't desire the fruits of the action. It's a very powerful concept. I was trying to internalize that idea so that going forward, I can slowly move towards that way of detached life where I can, without attachment, I can start living life. It's not going to be possible tomorrow, but Kalakramen, it's over time, we can do that. But that is not the attachment we are thinking about here. That attachment is attachment for things, people, emotions. Anything is bad. Okay. Slowly. Initially, it will be very difficult. Slowly get out of attachment. Slowly, check out. Don't mistake me for giving you this unnecessary philosophical advice. See how much happiness you will get when you slowly detach yourself from all this, and how much you suffered because of the attachment. Once you let go, feel so free. You don't want to become Buddha. It can happen. I started detaching process at 35. Slowly detaching. Slowly. One by one. Till finally everything is detached with go off. Okay. So nothing is permanent, my dear friends. A man who was talking to you has earned a lot of money, spent a lot of money, enjoyed a lot of money, enjoying a lot of money, but nothing is permanent. Everything will be gone. That's why realize it and slowly go away. So the problem is the attachment. Attachment, sangha, we call it in Sanskrit and in Hindi also is sangha. Sangha, holding on to it. Okay. Sangha is letting go. Okay, this attachment is where the government, takes possession of the property and prevents the property from being disposed. Attachment means, sorry for that unnecessary lecture on philosophical detachment and versus attachment. Here now we come to the legal definition of attachment, section 21D under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Attachment means prohibition of transfer, conversion, disposition, or movement of property by an order issued under Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is where there is a chapter which deals with attachment. So when the adjudicating authority passes an order of attachment, the property is locked. It's called attaching the property. It's the standard procedure under the Civil Procedure Code also. For example, if you have filed a case against somebody, civil case, and you are claiming some money, finally the decree is obtained. The decree means order of the court is obtained in your favor. What does the decree say? You will get the order of the court in your favor, then you will have to go and apply for the decree. Decree will be simply right. They will say, so-and-so has the right to sell or right to take possession of the property. Okay? Then that is called attachment, where you have to go and execute the decree, then take possession of the property and then do whatever you want. Or the court may attach the property pending disposal of the case. Till the final decree is passed, they will attach and say, no, this property cannot be transferred, etc. That becomes a litigated property. So before we buy a property, we should look at this is an online now. It's an online record now. You can find out whether any pending litigation is there against the property. Okay, whether there is any pending litigation against the property, right? So, because if there is a pending litigation, you cannot sell the property. Suppose somebody is the owner of a property against which a case is going on, sub judice, as we say, sub judice, when case is going on, and the court has passed an order of attachment on this property. Then, but one good thing is once the order of attachment is passed, it will get recorded in the encumbrance certificate. So when you tell there is something called the encumbrance certificate, nil encumbrance certificate, where you will be able to see the history of the owners, what happened. There, that court order will be entered. Attached white court order number so and so. You will know. That's why you should hire a lawyer to do this. Whenever you are buying a property, hire an advocate to do a proper due diligence before you purchase the property. It's worth paying that money to that lawyer. And if he goes through it thoroughly, you will have better title to the property. So attachment under the Pmla means prohibition of transfer, conversion, disposition, or movement of property by an order issued under Chapter 3. How is it done? There are two types of attachment. First, you have normal attachment. First, you have provisional attachment. So the director is a designation under the Pmla, but the same people also will be officials under FEMA. Please understand, Pmla and FEMA are intertwined enactments, both governed by the Reserve Bank, except that under the Reserve Bank, you have the Enforcement Directorate. So you have director and below him, or other officer not below the rank of deputy director, where these people have reason to believe, and that reason for such belief to be recorded in writing on the basis of material in his possession. How this will happen? Simple. Believe me, somebody should have given a complaint or even some kind of a anonymous letter, clearly specifying where the proceeds of crime are secreted or concealed. The guy who is giving it is obviously a disgruntled employee or a relative or an ex-partner. So he will give the complaint and his name will be, he will be kept anonymous. They will keep it as a secret. Okay. So any person is in possession of any proceeds of crime. So there is a reason to believe, and such reason recorded in writing, that a person is in possession of any proceeds of crime. And such proceeds of crime are likely to be concealed, transferred, or dealt with in any manner, which may result in frustrating any proceeds relating to confiscation of such proceeds of crime. So before if you don't do anything, the money will leave India, or it may be used again. So you may not be able to control it. So if that idea is there, if that feeling is there, then such director or any other officer may, by order in writing, provisionally attach such property for a period not exceeding 180 days from the date of the order in such manner as may be prescribed. Please remember 180 days. So the provisional attachment can be there only for 180 days from the date of the order, right? Maximum punishment for Part BC is your 3 years. Your 3 years, the 7 years is the maximum punishment for BC. Am I correct? Paragraph 1 of Part A, BC, all that is 7 years is the maximum punishment. Okay. Whereas for paragraph 2 of Part A alone, the maximum punishment is 10 years and fine. Right? So, normally for attachment, possession is very important. If the proceeds of crime are not in the possession of that person, then attachment is not possible. The right of the possessor is protected. And for computing 180 days, exclude period during which the proceedings are stayed by a high court. Okay, for example, this is being done by, you tell me one thing. We said chartered accountants should not engage in money laundering. I'm totally with you. But lawyers, will I say, my son, can I call him and say, son, do not deal in money laundering cases and all? He can. What is he going to do? He will advise these people, know the case, then he'll go to the court and get a stay. Okay, that's it. And or he might go to the court and sort of argue the case and maybe try to release the property from attachment. That's what lawyers will do. So somebody goes to high court, the minute the order is passed, provisional attachment order is passed, immediately you will go to high court and get a stay. So during the stay period, you don't go to 180 days. So suppose the stay is vacated. What happens is the government advocate will be there, the advocate general will be there, or additional solicitor general will be there. He will go to the high court. I mean, the case will come to him, and he'll take his one jolly sweet time, and then finally he'll go and stand up, Your Honor, this is not correct. This attachment order is correct. They have committed such huge crimes and all. We have got proof of it. The investigation is going on. Pending investigation, if the attachment is lifted, then the property will be sold. So kindly continue the attachment and please remove the stay order like that. You will go and pay. Then immediately the court will look at him and say, okay, stay vacated. Watch. So now again the 180 days will start counting. Okay. So, and for computing 180 days, exclude the period during which proceedings are stayed by the High Court. Add a further period not exceeding 30 days from the date of the order of vacation of such stay. So, from the date the judge gives vacation, you add another 30 days plus balance period. Suppose on the 20th day, the attachment was stayed. Then 20 already over now. Balance how much is there? 180 minus 20, you have 160 plus 30. For another 190 days you can go from that time. For this purpose. Okay. The purpose of attachment is merely to prevent the perpetrator of the crime from disposing of the asset. Okay. So the attachment is, so disposing the asset is not possible. Conversion, transfer, not possible. So that is the purpose of attachment under Pmla. Okay. Before attachment, a report should be forwarded to a magistrate under 173 of the CPC, Code of CRPC. A complaint has been filed by a person authorized to investigate the offence mentioned in that schedule before a magistrate court for taking cognizance of the scheduled offence. So, see, this is the Criminal Act. If you remember, since it's a criminal proceeding, you should see whether the offence is cognizable or non-cognizable. Usually it will be non-cognizable. Narcotic offences are cognizable. Most of the other offences will be non-cognizable. So a complaint should be filed by an authorized person, a police officer or some other officer, the customs officer, should have filed a complaint, and it should be shown that the scheduled offence is being investigated. Already a complaint is being filed, and the court is aware, and the court has taken cognizance and said, please go ahead, okay? Or a similar report or complaint has been made or filed under the corresponding law of any other country. So before the property of a person can be attached under PMLA, a report should be forwarded to a magistrate, or a complaint should be filed before the magistrate. Or if it's a foreign offence, foreign country, then a similar report should be filed under the corresponding law. A complaint should be filed under the corresponding law to the appropriate authority in that country. This is a precursor for attachment, right? Otherwise, what will happen? The executive, means the police and the other officials of the government of the country, will misuse the provision to attach innocent people's property or threaten them for attachment. So that guy will say, please go to the magistrate and file a report under 173. Let the magistrate decide whether this is proper or not. The protection is there. A judicial protection is available to the citizen of the country, of a democratic country. Okay. Attachment of any property of any person. If the director or any other officer not below the rank of deputy director has reason to believe, again with record on the basis of material in possession, that such property involved in money laundering, if it is not attached immediately, the non-attachment of the property is likely to frustrate any proceeding under this Act. After all, the whole point of the money laundering was to create this asset. If this asset is freed and he sells it and takes the money, then the whole point of the attachment will be lost. I mean, the whole point of the proceeding will be lost. Therefore, attachment. Now, post-attachment, a copy of the attachment order shall be forwarded to the adjudicating authority by the director or whoever it is. The director or either officer who has provisionally attaches any property shall, within a period of 30 days from the attachment, file a complaint stating the facts of such attachment before the adjudicating authority. So, before attachment, it should be shown that already a criminal proceeding is pending. Right? Once you attach, after you attach, the director or the officer under the PMLA should file a complaint under PMLA within 30 days, stating the facts of the attachment before the adjudicating authority. Now, this section shall not, this is very, very important paragraph. This section 5 shall not prevent the person interested in the enjoyment of the immovable property attached from such enjoyment. So attachment only prevents disposition, sale, transfer, etc. Transfer, conversion, disposition. Mere enjoyment through possession is not covered. That can continue. Person interested in the enjoyment in relation to any immovable property includes all persons claiming or entitled to claim any interest in the property. Right? So, one example would help you understand. Mr. B purchased a flat out of the proceeds earned by drug trafficking. The flat was attached by the Director of Enforcement after complying the procedures under Section 5 of the PMLA. Mr. B got a stay from the High Court for any proceedings under the said Act. The stay was subsequently vacated. State the relevant provisions of the PMLA for computing the period of provisional attachment, including extension, if any. So, the period would be 180 plus minus the stay period plus 30 days. Right? 180 minus the period during which the stay was operating, and then another 30 days will be the remaining stay period that is available. Okay. Whether Mr. C, son of Mr. B, can occupy the flat during the period of provisional attachment. Yes, because he is a person interested. He has a claim as a son to the property of Mr. B. So he can enjoy the property. Attachment cannot interfere with the enjoyment of the property. This is the point that you should remember. No, it means, I will repeat again with my example. Suppose a stay was, attachment was made on a particular day. How many days can the attachment be active? For 180 days. No doubt. Now already 20 days are over. On the 20th day, the court passes an order of vacation. Passes an order of vacation. Then there is a vacation order going on and on. Let us say for 3 months it goes on. Doesn't matter. During the I will anyway not count the vacation period now. I will remove it totally. Which means what? The original 20 days. Now the stay is vacated. So total period is 180 days. Out of that, 20 is already expired. Then 3 months was in stay. No problem. Stay got vacated. From the date of vacation of the stay, how many days I have? From the date of vacation of the stay, how many days I have? 180 minus 20 already over now. 160. To that, you will add 30 days. 160 plus 30, 190 days. Okay. That will be counted from the date of order of vacation of such stay. You got it? See, basically when there is an attachment and then there is a stay, the stay is vacated, there will be some delay in communicating the vacation to the appropriate authority. See, there will be some delay in communicating. Then he has to operate and all. So that communication time they are giving 30 days. Not exactly for that, but by and large. See, the problem is he cannot go directly. It has to come officially to him from the court. Stay has been vacated. He will go through a long-winded process. So that take another 10 or 15 days. So they say 30 days we add anyway. Give them a grace period of another 30 days. So that, see, why is he having this one? Your real question, Ms. Kalyani, should be, why is he having 180 days at all? Why is there a 180-day control? Because within 180 days, our man should frame a case. Our man should put everything in order. All the evidence should be ready. He should go for, the complaint is ready. He should be able to pass an order. That time is given for 180 days. If that is not able to do, that is why they are saying, hey, the stay was vacated. But that has to be communicated. So there will be some delay. So let's give them a grace period of another 30 days. Is the reason for this. And I hope Sumit Jain also got the point of how the this counting of days happens here. Okay. Good. Now, just like under FEMA, we saw the authorities. Under FEMA, here also under PMLA, you will see the authorities are the director or additional director or joint director. It's one level. Director, additional director, joint director. The same stratospheric levels, so high. Then you have the deputy director, assistant director. Slightly you can raise your head and you can see them. Then you have the assistant directors, almost in front of us. Such other class of officers as may be appointed for the purposes of this act. They are the authorities under the act. And they are very powerful. I'm just joking now. They can do anything they want. Believe me, as a CFO of a large company, suppose your company is engaged in money laundering or you are innocent and the enforcement directorate gets into your factory or your company, they will lock all the doors completely. They won't let you go. 48 hours they will sit there and they will go through paper, abuse you. You are a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, very senior person, abuse you. They will treat you like a common criminal. All that because you have become employed by a company of criminals. By association, we say Sahavasa. Okay? By Sahavasa, you have become a criminal. That's why we think only practicing chartered accountants have professional ethical issues. No, sir. Members in service also have ethical dilemmas. When after you join a company and you find that the company is actively engaged in some illegal activities, then that ethical dilemma starts. They're paying you a salary, 4 lakhs per month, whatever, more than that, 5 lakhs, whatever. Okay. 84 lakhs salary, car, all that including, which includes the CTC is 84 lakhs, means you get a luxury car, you get a chauffeur-driven luxury car, a residence, they pay the rent for a palatial flat, children education taken care of. Now you notice that they are doing all this stuff. What are you going to do? You are in the same dilemma as a member in practice. At least the member in practice may have another client. He can drop it and say, go, and you will forego this fees. But for you, this is the only amount. If tomorrow you resign, third month onwards, who will pay? You'll have to get another job, like that. So there's a dilemma there. Okay? So be very, very careful, especially when you are dealing with, income tax people are all very decent. When we appear before them, even on a search or a survey, to an extent you can talk to them professionally and they will listen to you if you are a professional. Pmla, no. CBA, Pmla, chance. They deal regularly with people like Dawood Musa. Yeah? So who are you? How are you different from Dawood Musa? Because you are a member of the Institute of Chapter, why did you associate with these criminals? Like that they will ask you. Okay? So better not get in. So the minute you sniff something and you see, go there and have a look at the company. Don't be impressed by all that, woodwork, paneling, AC, the attractive receptionist and all. You also can make some investigation about the company. Today, luckily, Google is there. And if you see the company is not very ethical, whatever the riches they promise you, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. You should have the ability to say, not Saturn, the planet, Saturn, the devil. Okay. Okay, here we have a question from Raman, which is, sir, attachment is because of, to shown it is, yes. Yeah, because it is proceeds of crime, they want to protect it. They want to keep it intact so that later on, when the crime is punished, under Pmla also, the property will be confiscated. And that money, see, where will I get the money for the fine and other things? And we may have to compensate other innocent people who are affected. All that will come only out of the sale of this property. That is why initially we attach it. Attachment is only the act by which we prevent that property from being sold. Absolutely correct. You can't attach a property just like that. You have to show that. See, that is the first thing we said now. The first thing in section 5 is the director should form an opinion that the person is in possession of proceeds of crime. If it is not proceeds of crime, you cannot go and attach, which means you should have prima facie evidence that there is proceeds of crime. Okay, prima facie evidence. That is why they also say there should be a complaint or a report pending about the crime under that law. Okay, all this has to be proved before you can attach. Right? Good. Now, adjudication. See, attachment is provisional, as you know. Okay, attachment is provisional. You will be only temporary. Provisional 180 days plus 30 days in case there is a stay and it's vacated and all that. If there is no stay, only 180 days. Within 180 days, you have to frame a case against this guy and you have to go for adjudication. That 180 days time is given to you for adjudication. Because once you adjudicate it, it's different. So there's a complaint under section 5 in respect of provisional attachment. Okay, first. Or there is an application under 17.4 or 18.10 in respect of seized property. See, sometimes instead of attaching the property, you can actually seize it. Seizure is possible only for movable property. Attachment is possible for immovable property. Seizure is possible for movable property. See, gold is being smuggled. Okay, in possession, the man is caught, red-handed. In possession of the money, he is caught. Straight away, the money will be seized. Seized, not confiscated, seized. It will be kept safely by the government. It will be accounted and receipt will be given. Subject to seizure, they will say, money, we will not refund it. We have taken so much money, see the record, and whatever you have taken, if you are innocent, we will return it. If your crime is proved, then that money will be adjusted against fine, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So if the adjudicating authority has reason to believe that any person has committed an offence under section 3 or is in possession of the proceeds of crime, it may serve a notice of not less than 30 days on such person, calling upon him to indicate the following. See, at this stage, you have made maybe an attachment okay, or a seizure of the property, then we have reason to commit, he has committed an offense under section 3, that is money laundering, some reason, then it may serve a notice of not less than 30 days on such person, calling upon him to indicate the following. See, at this stage it is innocent. I have answered one or two of these ED queries for some of my clients because the only problem was they went out to certain countries they should not have gone, then they will go to Hong Kong or something. So they will ask, nothing, no circulation, doesn't come back to India, go somewhere, all legitimate, there's nothing wrong. But they will call up and ask, why you have done, what is this, like that. No problem, they send a show cause notice, immediately we have to reply. So what are they asking? Sources of income, earning or assets, out of which or by means of which has acquired the property. So I will produce all the ID returns, I will show the bank statement, I will show how from the taxed income only this was sent. That's all. I will write a 2.5-page thesis essay on this whole story. Then I'll go and give it to the guy. He will go through it. Okay, and he's happy. He says, okay, closed, file closed. Khatam ho gaya. This is one thing I don't see anything wrong in doing it for, again, very, very long-term clients who are unfortunately projected as doing like it. Then I can go and get it. But regularly, if you engage in such people, no, it's not a good idea. The peace of mind is lost. Sometimes when you are hearing this lecture, some of you might feel that I am unnecessarily wasting your time because I am unnecessarily telling you to be ethical, not to associate with illegal people, whatever may be the financial attraction. All that is waste, sir. Don't give me bhashan. But then believe me, our profession is 25% knowledge, okay, 50% experience, 25% ethics. A good chartered accountant, 25% knowledge. Because I'll tell you why knowledge I'm giving such a low value. When I qualified the exam with an All India rank, the subjects that I studied, about 75% are not there today. Okay, which means that qualification that I got based on that exam has absolutely no meaning in today's knowledge. So I have to keep on acquiring new knowledge. So at any time, my knowledge potential will be only 25%. I have to keep on relearning. By the time I have learned and I have mastered, that law will change or something will happen, I have to learn again. So on and so on. But experience is something different. 50% of it. More and more time we are seeing the same situations. Law may change slightly, but the whole process is still the same now. Based on that, that's called experience. Finally, 25% ethics is also there. So if you forget ethics, and you only concentrate on income earning through knowledge and maybe experience, you'll have a problem later. Okay. I'd say too much importance is given to passing these exams and, acquiring knowledge. Seriously, it's important. Some of it is core fund. For example, see, accounting standards today are so complex. We didn't have so many accounting standards when I studied. Forget in days. We had what? Not even 24 years. We had what? 18 on leases. Just now, when I was writing the exam, 19 had come. 20 is just a draft. 19 had come. EPS was just a draft now. Later on, when I studied for ACS, EPS had come. Earnings per share had come. 20 had come. Accounting standard. 19 was under review. 19 was not. For my exam, 19 was not in the syllabus. The old leases were not in the syllabus. So on and so forth. Anyway, so I'm not trying to put down the exam. I'm only saying, don't think if you know all this and you clear the exam, start learning the next day itself because everything is going to change. Okay. So, but now for the exam purpose, I have packaged and given to you now. Read it, know it, write it. But the template is there. Use the template. See, for your information, the FCRA slide that you saw was a highly amended slide. The earlier slide was different. But once the law came, I amended all the slides and I made it up to date and I'm giving it to you. Same thing with income tax also. I have slides that I update. Same thing with accounting standards. I have slides that I update. So the reason here is auditing also. Whenever something new comes up, update. So update, keep on updating. That is how you have to approach it. There's no one single knowledge base that you acquire and then you are there. No. And that's why knowledge is not such a premium. Knowing is one thing, doing is more important. Ability to execute is more important. I've seen so many brilliant chartered accountants. When it came to execution, they failed miserably, even in corporate service. Whereas mediocre chartered accountants, in terms of maybe one attempt or not very high marks. But in actual corporate employment, these guys and gentlemen and ladies are brilliant. They get things done for their employers ethically and honestly. So that's why I put up more a premium on experience than on knowledge. Is my view. Don't mistake me. Not necessarily that you should agree. Definitely. The sources of his income, earning or assets out of which or by means of which he has acquired the property attached under section 5.1 or seized or frozen under section 17 or section 18. So seized means physical goods like gold, stock in trade and all can be seized. Bank accounts, money which is lying in the bank will be frozen. The account will be frozen. Means cannot be operated. It's called freezing the account. Okay. So property will be attached. Immovable property will be attached. Movable goods will be seized. Bank accounts can be frozen. When anything happens, then within 30 days, the adjudicating authority should send a notice to this guy asking, how did you get this property? Where is the legitimate source? When did you pay the tax? Show. And to show cause why, please, the last pink lines are very important. That notice is called a show cause notice. Finally, say, show cause why all or any of such properties should not be declared to be the properties involved in money laundering and confiscated by the central government. So, suitable answer should be given, yeah. Replying, if you see, I have, as I told you once in a while, I have gone and given a reply where I knew that it is genuine. But if it is not genuine, Dawood Ibrahim, what you will do? You go say, Your Honor, according to me, sir, officer, you can do. Okay, nothing can be done. The SCN, you can just say, sorry, like this. Or maximum, you go to an advocate. Either the specialist advocates who will go to the High Court and get stay. Stay, they keep on getting stay, keep on pushing, delaying. That's all you can do. Finally, the case will be heard, decided against that person. Sometimes, this is the problem in any country, a democratic country. You can try to pull strings through, higher level politicians and all that. The telephone call goes to the authorities and all that. Sometimes it might work, and it again depends on so many things. It might work. You can get you can get some breathing time and you can just run, but ultimately things will be gone. Okay. Beneficial owner. I'm sure you know the terms beneficial owner and Benami. Beneficial owner is the actual owner, but his name is not entered in the ownership record. Benami is the name of the person whose name is appearing in the record, but he is not the beneficial owner. He is not the real owner. So beneficial owner and Benami. So when you see the record, it shows A. But when you catch hold of A and ask him what is the source, where did you get the money, etc., immediately he starts singing. Yeah, I don't know anything, sir. That Mr. Y only made me come to the registrar office. Property was registered in my name. I have no news about it. He will fight. Or if he's a very tight fellow, he'll keep quiet. I don't know. Then his lawyer will come, take him out on bail. 48 hours, then you can detain. Then he'll be going off. You have to produce him before the High Court. Before the magistrate court. You get bail and he'll go. Okay, then you have to catch him. It's very difficult. So if the Benami keeps his mouth shut, then that's it. Nothing can be done. He keeps on asking. How many times he asks me, you tell, I don't know. What can you do? See, they are not supposed to use third degree. Third degree means beating or physical harm. Sometimes they may threaten it. Actually, that happened. One of my clients in a search case where the officer was a young man and he threatened of that and used a certain one word which was not a very good word. I was there at that time and he was very abusive and he used a very vulgar word, very vulgar word while speaking to my client, who was a 60-year-old gentleman. So I stood up. I said, sir, we'll leave now. How you will leave my room? Come on, like that. No, I will leave. You're using a vulgar and abusive word. I heard you. I will not. I don't have to put up with it anymore. You will apologize to my client who is 60 years. He's 25 years older than you. Apologize to him. Proceed with your inquiry. Ask a question. I will answer it. But ask it politely. Don't use vulgar words. Like that I told. And he realized that, it's okay. Okay, sorry, Srikanth, sit down. Okay, sir, sorry. Let's continue. Then he started continuing. Thereafter, he was very polite. He didn't use vulgar language. So don't use vulgar language to my client. In fact, later on when we came out, the client caught my hand and he said, Shrikant, I'm sure you will get me out of this problem and things will happen properly. I have confidence in you. More than that, I'm thanking you for, my dignity was protected there in that office by you. Thank you, like that. So these are the things that differentiate you and I from, ordinary child, ordinary fellow. You will keep quiet. No. Why should I put up with vulgar language? I'm living in a democratic country, not in Afghanistan or Pakistan. You can't use vulgar language to me. I have every protection of the law. I have the legal profession behind me. Okay. And in fact, I realized one thing, that if he had fought with me, I would have gone out and filed a complaint against him to the chief commissioner. Straight away I would have gone. I would have gone to the chief commissioner and said, sir, he is well within the law to question my client. Even till 4 a.m. in the morning, let him question. I'm not interfering. And I will also answer. But using vulgar language, no, doesn't work. Not with me. Okay. So I'm sharing some of these experiences to help you understand how really, facing government officials, it's not easy as you think it is. What you read in the book, what you read in the institute material is bland paper, printed alphabets on paper. The real world out there is tough. The people out there, they're people finally. The same gentleman, by the time the proceedings got over, we released the seized property, we released everything, accepted a certain amount, paid the tax. This to 10 years assessment, all that you must be aware of, for all experts in income tax. All that finished. He was very happy. He came to me and said, Shrikant, you have cooperated so much. I said, exactly. Why are you treating people like animals or criminals? Not everybody is a criminal, okay? And especially professionals treat us with respect, because we are here not to help the client, but to advise him properly and to give him the right advice so that he will get out of this without problem. If there is genuinely any problem, we'll come to you. If you want to levy a penalty, do it. I have the legal process. Judicial remedies are there. I can go on appeal. Everything is possible. Why are we behaving like criminals? All of us is what I ask. No, Shrikant, you are right. At that time, I was just 32 years old. This gentleman was 28 years old, young boy. But he is an IRS officer. What can we do? Okay. So every joint holder of a property is entitled to notice from the adjudicating authority. So beneficial owner is entitled to notice. Once the Benami reveals the beneficial owner, he will get the notice. Joint holder of property is also entitled. Beneficial owner shall also be given an opportunity of being heard to prove that the property is not involved in money laundering. See, I'll tell you the point here. So holding a property in somebody else's name is not a crime. Having a Benami is not a crime. The source of the money by which the property is acquired should be legitimate. That's all. Sometimes for reasons best known, somebody may register the property in the name of a relative. For reasons best known. Nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in that. Now, the word AA, here don't get worried about AA. Whenever we use the word AA, we mean adjudicating authority, right? Adjudicating authority. Right? Now, friends, I think we have made good progress in this topic. And this is a good time for me to call a small break, something like 8:05 now. Maximum we'll say 5 minutes or 7 minutes like that. So around 8:10 or 8:12, we will take up the further discussion on the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Don't go away. We'll be back in 5 to 7 minutes. with PMLA, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. We are still in adjudication. See, adjudication, the word adjudication is finally passing an order. That's all. Adjudication means passing of an order under the Act. Okay? Whether it is FEMA or whether it is SEBI or whether it is PMLA, the authority passes an order and based on that order, it takes some action. Okay? Okay, so here we have Mr. Raman Sachdeva asking a very peripheral question, but let us anyway answer him to the best of our knowledge and ability. Whether branch or license office of foreign companies required to obtain PAN in India. See, it might want to acquire PAN in India for two purposes. One is, suppose it is receiving any income in India, a tedious, deduction for purpose of tax deduction. Again, that would be taxed at the under 195. Still PAN is needed. Suppose this guy is making payments in India, he will need a TAN and correspondingly PAN also. More importantly, if there is any income attributable to this branch or license office in India, it will have to have a PAN. So better to apply for and obtain a PAN. If they can obtain a PAN, there's not a problem. They can obtain a PAN and they can have it. Not a problem. But I really don't see the link between this and PMLA. Though there is a FEMA link, even that FEMA link is very tenuous. Anyway, you asked the question. Unfortunately, I thought I will answer it. No problem. But try to avoid unconnected questions which are not related to the subject at this stage. Maybe around the end of the class, you can ask, I will definitely answer. Okay. If I know the answer. No. I do not claim to know everything. No man on earth can know everything. I do my best by learning, by understanding. More than learning, I believe that it is understanding that's more important and the right understanding oriented towards writing the examination rather than getting confused with words and, meanings and trying to confuse. Okay. There's no need for you to be so confused with words. Once you understand the essence of what it is, see, now you know what is the essence of PMLA, what is the essence of attachment, what is the essence of adjudication. One of the important points is post-adjudication, there would be a confiscation. That is, the movable goods which are seized and the immovable property is attached will be declared to be the property of the government of India. It is called confiscation. So, anyway, so the AA gives the chance, he gives the show cause notice, the reply is received, the AA shall consider the reply and then hearing the aggrieved person and the director. For this purpose, they can have an employee also coming, an officer authorized by, like you, a CFO can appear and explain the matter. And after taking into account all the relevant materials placed on record, it shall by an order record a finding whether all or any of the properties referred to are involved in money laundering. And if the answer is yes, then straight away the property can be confiscated. So, once there is a finding by the AA that it is proceeds of crime or involved in money laundering, then such attachment, retention or freezing of the seized or frozen property or record will continue during the investigation for a period not exceeding 365 days from the date of adjudicating order. Please, you will have a doubt. Sir, whether this is from 180 days or fresh. For a period not exceeding 365 days. The investigation will go on. Prima facie, they are finding. They are saying it is proceeds of crime. There is a link between this and money laundering. Okay. Or the pendency of the proceedings relating to any offense under this act before a court or under the corresponding law of any other country before the competent foreign court. Friends, in India, most criminal offenses are decided very late. Minimum it takes 3 to 4 years before the case comes up before the magistrate court. The crime, the original crime, narcotics crime or the smuggling or whatever has to come up now. It's a lot of time. It may go up before the special court tribunal. All that will happen. Then finally, that there should be a order of guilty. Okay. Then it will continue 365 days and become final after an order of confiscation is passed by the special court. So it will become final. That is, this order which is now passed by the adjudicating authority will be hovering for 365 days. The attachment or retention or freezing or seizure will continue till the final order is passed of confiscation is passed by the special court. This should be ideally finished within 365 days. Okay. Anyway. The director or any other officer authorized by him in this behalf shall forthwith take possession of the property attached under Section 5 or frozen under Section 17 only. In fact, in many cases, under income tax and customs, there is an appropriate authority who takes control of these properties. If it is not practicable to take possession of a property frozen, the order of confiscation shall have the same effect as if the property has been taken possession of. For example, there may be a tenant in possession who's filed a case, not able to take possession, but still the order of confiscation is over. That is a property belonging to the government of India. Owner is now the government of India. Finding by special court on conclusion of the trial that offense of money laundering has been committed, then the order that such property shall stand confiscated to the central government. Final order says offense of money laundering has not been committed, then release of such property to the person entitled. This is the final conclusion. Okay. So, of course, sometimes there could be some kind of a false or misguided attachment, etc., where there is no money laundering, but circumstances are there. Slowly it is unraveled, facts are proved, then slowly, in the meantime, a stay is there, and then finally we come to an order of release of that property, which is the ideal situation, which would be the ideal situation. I'm sorry, I don't know what is happening here. Yeah. Okay. Just give me 1 minute while I tackle this problem, and I'll just close it and I will open it again. Give me 1 minute while I understand what the problem is, and I will get back to you. No, yes. One small issue. I'm trying to resolve it. Give me 1 minute, sir. I will try to resolve it because there seems to be some small issue there. It's resolved. It's flashing again and again. I don't know why. Yeah. So we can talk about, sorry for that. There was some Sir, I'm very sorry. There was a problem. I had to go out. I'm coming in again and sharing my screen. Hopefully the screen is now clear and you're able to see it. I'm very sorry for that unfortunate incident of, okay, you can now see that. Moving on to the next slide. Restoration of property. This is exactly what I was telling. Okay, the 365 days that we mentioned here, okay, is fresh and does not include the 180 days of provisional attachment. Because once this adjudicating order is passed, the provisional attachment is over. Okay, the provisional attachment is over and you get another 365 days. Okay, and the such attachment, etc., will continue under this new order now. Okay, so it's not included in that. 180 days is not included in this 365. It's a good question. That's what I was anticipating, and I thought I had given the answer, but again you are asking it, and I'm giving it to you. Okay. Where a property stands confiscated to the central government under Section 8(5), the special court, in such manner as may be prescribed, may also direct the central government to restore such confiscated property or part thereof of a claimant with a legitimate interest in the property, who may have suffered a quantifiable loss. See, suppose there is a legitimate claimant, he should be receiving some portion of the property, okay, as a result of the offense of money laundering. So there's a power given to the special court to direct the central government to give relief to a legitimate claimant with a legitimate interest in the property, right? Provided that the special court shall not consider such claim unless it is satisfied that the claimant has acted in good faith and has suffered the loss despite having taken all reasonable precautions. Okay. For example, before the attachment order was passed, before the provisional attachment order was passed, this guy might have paid good money and taken portion of the property. He didn't know that this property itself was proceeds of crime. Later on, the attachment order comes. Now he is a claimant in possession, then actually he can continue to be enjoying. And finally, when the adjudicating order is passed, the special court can actually direct the central government to release his portion. Because after all, he paid good consideration for it. Okay. He cannot suffer a loss because of somebody else's crime. So that is the thing that he's doing. So they are returning back. But he has to prove that he acted in good faith. Okay. See, that's why if post attachment he acquires the property, he is not good faith. Because he had the opportunity to verify whether there is an attachment. But pre-attachment or while the attachment was happening, unknowingly he bought the property, then he can be protected. For example, let us say that a company is into construction and development of residential colonies. So this fellow, that company is also engaged in money laundering. And they have used proceeds of crime to fund their activities by circulation, by rotating the funds through foreign subsidiaries and then round routing it back to their investment into their company. All that is going on. In the meantime, that huge land that they have passed using this property is attached. But out of that, some 50 plots have already been sold to people who genuinely did not know all this. They saw the big advertisement and they came and bought. They paid good money. No, but they're a pitiable lot because they cannot do anything about it till the case is finished. But once the case is finished, the central government will be directed to restore that portion of the property to the legitimate claimants. Only the balance will be confiscated. I think it's quite fair, right? But then, by the time that happens, it would be gone. That's as good as that fellow would want. But then if the price of the property, the land value has gone up, he'll get some benefit. Okay, is the point. Where an order of confiscation has been made in respect of any property of a person, all the rights and title in such property shall vest absolutely in the central government, free from all encumbrances. Nobody can come and say, I have a prior title. Government's title is superior. The special court or the adjudicating authority shall attach or seize the property only after giving an opportunity of being heard to the person. If any encumbrance on property or leasehold interest has been created with the view to defeat the provisions of Chapter 5, then such that encumbrance or leasehold interest will be declared to be void. Okay? Any liability in respect of such encumbrances which may be enforced against any person shall not be discharged from such person. Mr. K used his car for smuggling cash, and the special court found on conclusion of the trial that an offence of money laundering was committed by Mr. K under the provisions of the Money Laundering Act. The car was under hypothecation to a nationalized bank for the car loan obtained. Examine whether the car can be confiscated despite the existence of encumbrance. Now, see, if an encumbrance of property or leasehold interest has been created with a view to defeat the provisions of Chapter 5. Otherwise, it will be a genuine legal claimant having a legitimate interest. So, in this case, the bank is a legitimate claimant and they have given the money as loan in good faith. Therefore, the car cannot be confiscated. Okay. Or it can be confiscated subject to the encumbrance. Right? Central government may, by order published in the official gazette, appoint as many of its officers to perform the functions of administrator, to administer the property. The administrator appointed will manage the property, etc., and dispose the property, and that money will be used to be adjusted against the fines, penalty, etc. payable. The adjudicating authority shall have the same powers as they are vested in a civil court. Friends, A to F, discovery and inspection, enforcing attendance, we have already seen when we studied NCLT You would have seen it in fiat. If you go through your institute material, same thing will be there in Foreign Exchange Appellate Tribunal. Any quasi-judicial body. So what do I understand? The adjudicating authority is a quasi-judicial body. It is not a civil court, but has the powers of civil court while trying a suit. It's okay. You can read this on your own. It's there in all. This is common. Suppose you read it once, in all enactments it will be there. SEBI, you can check out. SEBI has this. NCLT has, we already saw. And all of them have. Okay. Competition Commission has. Every one of them has it. I've already explained this to you in NCLT, therefore I'm not going to waste your time explaining this again. Now we come to another important limb of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is obligation of banking companies, financial institutions, intermediaries, and other reporting entities. Yeah, so these people, reporting entity means a banking company, financial institution, etc. So a person carrying on designated business or profession means a person carrying on activities of playing games of chance for cash or kind, Inspector General of Registration, the sub-registrars, various property sub-registrars, real estate agent, dealer in precious metals, has to keep on giving information to central government. So suppose you have some proceeds of crime with you. I'm sure you don't. Suppose your friend is having, he says, I want to do something. So you say, come on, let's go and buy gold. Yeah. Instead of keeping it as cash, you buy gold now. So we go to all the gold merchants and tell them we'll pay by cash. You give me gold. Most gold merchants once upon a time would have agreed. Today they can't because the income tax act is so strict. You cannot take more than 2 lakhs in cash. The two, you have to get the PAN number beyond it. Cash, you cannot accept it. Okay. And today they are very strict. And they, even for 1 lakh above, they take the PAN number or some ID proof and all. Okay. No way you can park your cash, even in gold. And finally, suppose you go beyond that, do what you want, man, give me. And you buy that, pay cash 4 lakhs and take up. They will go, for example, same PAN number, 2 entries are there, less than 2 lakhs. Immediately they'll catch you and ask you, where did you get the money? Okay, what happened? How did you buy this thing? They'll ask you. So the information will be given by the dealer in precious metals and precious stones. See, think about it. Which is the easiest form of holding such proceeds of crime? Simple methods, foreign exchange, gold. These are all stable. They're easy to move, carry. All that has to be seen for this. Okay. Person engaged in safekeeping and administration of cash and liquid securities. Person carrying on such other activities. So all that stuff. So what you should do, you should convert it into foreign currency, then put it in a suitcase or leather bag, then hide it and go across the border, then take a flight, go all around Russia, then enter Europe, then go to Switzerland, open an account in Swiss bank, in your name, only your fingerprint will work, put all this cash in that safe deposit bag, also buy some Swiss gold out of this money. They won't ask you any questions. Switzerland, they won't ask you any questions. Put everything in that bank locker, lock it with your fingerprint and come. That's all. Now your money is safe in Switzerland. Okay? I don't know. Because Swiss banks have no duty to report all these things. Unlike Indian banks, where they have to report such activities, or any country, they have to report. Swiss bankers will not report. They will not report balances. They will not report transactions. Nothing will be reported by them. But India, we have to report. Not reporting is an offense by the reporting entity. Okay? So the reporting entity should maintain a record of all the transactions, including information relating to transactions covered under Clause B. See, maintaining a record is for all transactions. B is furnishing prescribed information. Means, I told about 10 lakhs and all that you have to give. That is prescribed information relating to the transaction. So whether prescribed or not, you have to maintain record. Maintain record of documents evidencing identity of its clients and beneficial owners, as well as account files and business correspondence relating to its clients, etc. Now, all this is done. That's why we have all the KYC norms and all that, so that identity will be clearly proved. Okay, let us see what Sri Ranjani Kulkarni is asking again. 365 days, okay, I will clarify that doubt. I am asking this query, whether provisional attachment necessary for further process of adjudication, or there are any cases where adjudication cannot happen directly, because adjudicating will be a long process. What can happen is, see, there is a property or a immovable property or a movable property. You have now got a prima facie case against that fellow. You have caught him. Now you are adjudicating activity will take a long time. Tell me, in the meantime, how are you going to protect it? That is why they have given you the power for provisional attachment. If you don't provisionally attach the property, he may sell it. Then tomorrow, once you pass the adjudicating order, where you will go and collect the fine? 1, 2, that's the proceed of crime, yeah. For all you know, that may be cheated and taken from other people. That has to be refunded. So should you not protect them? So that is where provisional attachment will come first. That can be for 180 days. Within 180 days, maximum, you have to pass the adjudicating order. Once you pass the adjudicating order, the provisional attachment will continue, but another 365 days. Before which, your final order should be passed. Before which you should. The special court will decide. You have to proceed before the special court, prove your case, and the special court will finally decide whether there is a money laundering or not. If they say there is money laundering, confiscation. If they say no money laundering, release the property. Now is the process clear, Ms. Sri Ranjani? I hope it's clear to you. In case it's clear, just put it's clear. Or clear is big word. If you've slightly understood it, kindly confirm that you understood. So it's a sequential process. So to answer your question, whether provisional attachment necessary for further process of not necessary, you can proceed for adjudication. But the real point is the whole exercise is being done for this asset, yeah, which is a proceed of crime. How are you going to protect it? So invariably, we will start the process, and then before the adjudicating order, see, adjudicating process will happen independently. But in the meantime, we have now got the property. Now I can keep it forever and ever. So I will provisionally attach it and say, don't do anything with it till we decide what to do. For that, I'm having 180 days time, plus 30 days in case there is a stay and vacation of stay. Within 180 days, etc., I have to pass the adjudicating order. And then I have to go to the special court. Thereafter, I have 365 days to get the order from the special court that it is the proceeds of crime. That's all. Okay. I hope I have made myself clear. Okay. Adjudication can directly happen. Then what will you do? Where is the asset? Florida Bindlu sold it. Huh? In case you get the adjudicating order and then you locate the asset, you can go and directly attach it. Why provisional attachment? Directly attach it. Again, you have to, for confiscation, you have to get the order of the special court. Got the sequence, madam? Thank you. So, every information maintained, furnished, or verified, save as otherwise provided and in law for the time being, shall be kept confidential. See, the idea is not to make these information public, but to maintain confidentiality. Okay. Such record should be maintained for a period of 5 years from the date of the transaction between the client and the reporting entity. See, most bankers have a confidentiality agreement with their clients, but this clause of reporting breaks that confidentiality. Reason, what we are now doing is in the national interest. So we are taking all this information, analyzing it. That's it. The idea is not to penalize anybody on that basis. Okay. So the records are to be maintained for 5 years from the date of transaction between the client and the reporting entity. Similarly, the records maintained under clause E with respect to clients. Okay, we'll see that next. Okay, as to the beneficial owner, okay, KYC records, the KYC records, who is the owner, should be kept up within for 5 years after the business relationship between a client and the reporting entity has ended or the account has been closed, whichever is later. So it should be maintained for 5 years from the date of ending of the relationship. Okay. Or the account has been closed, whichever is later. See, what is the difference between the relationship has ended and closed? Ending could happen because we ourselves take a decision that it is attached or whatever, and it is not, and then you say stop, you can go. We ourselves freeze the account and say we will not allow you to operate it. Bank itself. Or that guy comes closest and takes it. From that day, I should maintain his KYC records, his beneficial interest records, the record of documents evidencing identity. These documents should be kept for a period of 5 years from that date. At any time, we should be able to get his identity. Right. Every reporting entity shall, prior to the commencement of each specified transaction, verify the identity of the clients, examine the ownership and financial position, and record the purpose behind the conducting the specified transaction. Some multinational banks go very deeply into this, and they ask the purpose and all that. Sometimes, it's definitely an infringement of privacy and personal freedom. But then they are entitled to ask because they have to record the purpose behind conducting the specified transaction. You can give a very generic note of nothing wrong. You need not tell exactly why you are doing this. Where the client fails to fulfill the conditions, the entity shall not allow the specified transaction to be carried out. Okay. For example, I used to transfer a lot of money to my broker. From my account, I used to transfer to my broker when I was actively buying, when the market was low in 2008, 9, 10 and all. I used to buy regularly. And so at that time, I used to transfer money, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. So they used to keep on asking me, why? They keep, chalo yaar, it's my money, I'm buying shares. No, sir, I need to know why you are transferring funds. They'll ask me. Where the reporting entity does not do or confirm with any of these criteria, the director can issue a warning in writing, direct the reporting entity to comply with the specific instructions, and periodical reports may be asked. And they can also impose a penalty, 10,000 to 1 lakh per failure. Just like you had a hierarchy under Pmla and under NCLT and all that, here also you have a hierarchy. You have the high courts, you have the adjudicating authority. Above the adjudicating authority, you have the special appellate tribunal. Then you have the special court. And above the special court, you have the high court. And then above the high court, Supreme Court. Okay. Namitaji, yes, absolutely, you can purchase 9 gold sets, but ensure that the 9 sets are in 9 different PAN numbers or IDs. Not PAN number, 9 different IDs. If on the same day with the same ID proof, you got 9 sets, it is like 1 person buying only. It's not 9 persons buying. So you should do 9 people, 9 Benamis, you should have 8 Benami plus you should go. Only then you can buy 9 sets. Okay. Today, even for that, they have put up, how you know, there's something called BIS. He can't break up. For example, if you're buying 9 gold sets, no problem. But suppose you're buying a single gold set, then you're in trouble. Okay. So recently for one client, I saw that. One person purchased a single gold watch, which was worth 5.5 lakhs. Single gold watch. But they had broken it up into 3 transactions, as if 3 brothers had bought 3 different watches. They could do all this at that time. But today, you can't because of BIS. Each item should be specifically like earlier. Most of these people are only showing the weight on weight. Even in our tax audit report, we are only showing weight to weight. So opening stock in weight, purchase in weight, sales in weight, not in items or description. And finally closing stock. Today you can't do that. Today you have to, when you used to use weighted average. Today we have to, weighted average you can use, but or if a point is item by item, you have to relate. Discretely, or which item came, which item went with BIS record. So that is why today that gold thing is a little shaky. But see, that is where we are headed. See, ultimately we all want to become a superpower, right? Modi ji's dream is to make us a superpower. Now, in a superpower, will they behave like this? In a superpower, will they have black money, buying gold for cash and all that? Huh? So, in order to that dream should happen, then we should all agree that this should not be done. Okay. So, appeal is always possible to the appellate tribunal by the director. Okay. The adjudicating authority can go to the appellate tribunal, and if you are unhappy with the order passed by the adjudicating authority, you may prefer an appeal to the appellate tribunal. Any reporting entity agreed by any order of the director may also prepare an appeal to the appellate tribunal. The appeal should be filed within 45 days or extended period. Okay, you know that. Yeah, typical, na? Appeal to the appellate tribunal, 45 days. Any appellate tribunal. On receipt of the appeal, the appellate tribunal may, after giving the parties an opportunity, pass such orders. Copy will be sent to both the parties, and the appellate tribunal should dispose of the appeal within 6 months. Time-bound period is given to the appellate tribunal. If the members of a bench consisting of two member bench, differ in opinion on any point, they shall state the point or points and make a reference to the chairman. The chairman shall either hear the point or points himself or refer the case for hearing on such point or points by a third member of the appellate tribunal. For example, they are agreed on almost everything. One matter they are saying, sir, we are not sure. I am feeling that it's money laundering. He says it's not proceeds of crime. Okay, we'll have a third member. Now, if the third member says proceeds of crime, proceeds of crime. No. That's called a third member decision. Such point or point shall be decided according to the opinion of the majority of the members of the appellate tribunal who have heard the case, including those who first heard it. Right? Any person aggrieved by decision of the appellate tribunal can file to High Court within 60 days. And if there is any delay, there can be a condemnation up to 60 days. Right? Just like company law, I don't know if they have actually got that list and all that. If they have, it is unofficial. Okay. Then why are they not taking action? The next question would be, why are they not? If they have got the list, why are they not taking action? Okay. After all, money laundering Pmla is very much there to you. You can immediately write a letter to them asking, where did you get the money? And all that. So, see, madam, you are going to become a chartered accountant. So your reliance on WhatsApp should stop. WhatsApp as a source of information, no more. Official, authenticated websites, authentic news channels, wiki. This is where your knowledge should come from. Not from the WhatsApp University, which is where I remember having seen this WhatsApp messages, all that Modi has discovered, list has been obtained. Right, Baba? You had for 10 years already over, Modi, almost 10 years going to get over. Modi ka Raj. Why he has not done anything about it? Okay. Anyway, good question, but I enjoyed the question. Okay. Anyway. So, and nothing can be done because nothing has been given. The Swiss bankers are not fools. They won't give the details. See, Swiss banks are holding money right from the Nazi Reich. Their third Reich is having. Their money is there. So right from World War II, even before that, all the money laundered money is in Swiss banks. They won't give all this. That is their code. See, that is their dharma. I'm not justifying the Swiss banking system. That is their dharma. They won't do it. It's a neutral country. Switzerland has always been a neutral country where they do not encourage any. They won't join anybody. They were neutral even during World War II, which is why Hitler didn't do anything there. But basically Germans. See, the entire part of Switzerland, Austria, they're all Germans of origin, Germanic origin. But these people are very clear. They will not. Similarly, the Swiss guards are very, very powerful. They will work for money, but once they take your money, they will be loyal. Okay, so like that. Okay, Aaj Tak news channel, fantastic. That's why I said legitimate news channels. Oh God. Anyway, Namital, this is not going to influence you or me. If you honestly think Modi ji has all the information, let us pray to God that he will take action against this people. And the Swiss banks have, violated their confidentiality norms, and they have given the information only to Mr. Modi. And Modi ji will take action against all the politicians. Agreed? I believe in that. I believe you know. If I believe you, you are happy, no? So you don't believe me. Swiss bankers will not maintain confidentiality. Okay, all the information is given to Mr. Modi. He will take action against the list. Whenever he finds the time, amidst his busy schedule, he will take. Okay? So like that. Anyway, Namitam is continuously asking questions like this. One person can buy 9 sets claiming it is marriage gift. Who can stop it? I can't stop it. If anybody stops it, check out. Okay, I will not stop you. Never I will stop you, madam. Okay. See, do all this and see him. See, this is crossing PMLA. It is getting into income tax. It is getting into every law you are exploring. Nothing wrong. You can buy. If the jeweler is willing to sell, you can buy. Even see today, if the jeweler is willing to take cash and give you the jewelry without bill, go ahead now. You can do it, which is exactly what we are talking about in this law. Okay, so no problem. The person getting it as a marriage gift, there is no tax. Agreed. But the person who gave the gift has to prove the source. Na? Somewhere that link has to be there. Na? That's what I'm saying. Once you get into practice or whatever you are going to do, you will not ask questions thereafter. You will have to give answers. Okay, this question I will not answer. It's too practical and unnecessary. I will not answer. Person accused of an offense. Agreed. PMLA is like that. But I'm telling you, gold jewelry, be very, very careful. I'm in Tamil Nadu at least. I have a lot of jewelry clients and I know what I'm talking about. Don't play games with jewelry business now. They are under heavy scrutiny and they are under heavy trouble. All my clients, I'm advising them to come clean in the BIS thing, provide the proper list and regularize their stock and bring it back to the books. That's what I'm trying to do and bring them out of the problems. Okay. So don't encourage that. These clients who, customers who go and ask for cash, they want to pay cash. Okay. See, one more thing. You want to buy 9 sets, 25 sets, 200 crores, you want to buy, no problem. You give RTGS and buy it. Only if you want cash, the problem is there. Non-cash, if you want to do by RTGS, what problem? And proving the source is yours. That comes later. But so long as it's from a bank to bank, we have no problem. But cash, no. Beyond 2 lakhs per person per day. Okay, that's all. Okay. Good. In case of any person who is under the age of 16 or woman or is sick or infirm or accused on his own or co-accused, sum of less than 1 crore, such a person may be released on bail. Normally, it is offences under the PMLA are cognizable. Comparisons with company law where the offences are non-cognizable. Whereas here it is cognizable and non-bailable. Non-bailable means what? Bail is not automatic or on his own bond. The public prosecutor will come and can oppose the bail. If the public prosecutor is not opposing the bail, then he can go out on his own bond. Okay? But where the public prosecutor opposes the application, the court is satisfied that there are reasonable grounds that he is not guilty, then he can be granted bail. Okay? Automatic bail can be given to person under the age of 16 or woman or sick or infirm person, right? There is also something called offense of cross-border implication, which means that the offense is committed in one country, has an impact in another country. It's committed in India, transfer is happening to any other part of the world. Some link should be there between another country. Okay. So in those cases, you have to be very careful. See, the question here is whether Mr. Rohit has been in employment for past 3 years. He is involved in a conduct which constituted offense in Germany. It's an offense in Germany. The conduct would have been considered an offense in India as well. Okay. The proceeds involved in the offense was 60 lakhs. Mr. Rohit attempted to remit 50 lakhs out of the 60 lakhs from Germany to India, but was not successful. The government of India held his offense as cross-border implication as per Section 2RA of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. State whether the contention of the government of India is correct. Wow. Yes, obviously. Because it's a cross-border transaction, right? Any conduct by a person at a place outside India which constitutes an offense at that place and which would have constituted an offense specified in Part A, Part B or Part C of the schedule had it been committed in India. And if such person transfers in any manner the proceeds of such conduct or part thereof to India, right? Similarly, you commit the offense in India and transfer it to outside India, also it's a cross-border implication. Both are offenses having cross-border implication, right? So we come to a nice ending to PMLA. As usual, my Namitaji is not letting me go, yeah. Sir, I want to know the law implication. If each set cost is less than 2 lakhs in cash, Amma, please buy 9 sets less than 2 lakhs in cash. Please buy. Tax, what is the law implication? Only Income Tax Act implication. Okay. Penalty is there. 115BB penalty is there. If it's more than 2 lakhs in cash. See that the owner of the shop is prohibited by the Income Tax Act from accepting cash in excess of 2 lakhs. So up to 2 lakhs, see 1,95,000, you do 9 sets. But please see to it that it should not be one person. If it is one person, same PAN or same driving license, same, it means what? Yeah, same person. Yeah. So merely by splitting the invoice, how you will change it? That is all I'm telling you. Namita, please understand. Please. Okay, don't hurt. Don't keep on pressing me. You understood now. You do 9 sets, you do with 9 Atmi, 9 people. You plus 8 Benami, you do. No problem. But one person, how? It's not possible. You split the transaction. Today, even the splitting thing is going to be a problem going forward because of BIS. BIS hallmark means each item should be specifically located. So which means here you are using 9 individual items. No problem. So in your case, you will have not any problem. 9 individual items, 9 necklaces or 9 sets of bangles or one set of 6 bangles or 12 bangles. No problem. One set like that, 9 sets, less than 2 lakhs, less than 2 lakhs, whatever. But it should be a different name. If you do it in the same name, definitely you will get an inquiry from the Income Tax Department asking you to explain how you got the money. Be prepared for that is all I'm saying. Okay. So that is the legal implication of the question that you are asking. Okay, madam. So beautiful. We have come to an end of our session. Thank you for the wonderful participation. I mean, I really enjoy your questions. Exactly. Sumit Jain is saying 269 ST is applicable. It's not. It will become applicable if it's a single person. If it is a single person, then 269 ST will become applicable. See, all authorities and income tax, you are asking me a question on income tax. I am zero in income tax, you know. I will, if I write the exam again, I will fail it. But in practice, it's a different story. Okay, where knowledge of the law again. That's why even I am suggesting to the institute that the examination, instead of having it multiple choice, you can have it open book. Make it practical. Let the students give the Income Tax Act, give the Companies Act. Let them have open the act. See. Instead of mucking up the act, you can have it in front. But merely knowing, having the bare act is not going to help you. You should have thorough knowledge of the implications, etc. It will be easy. Okay, is the point, right? Good job. Nice, Sumit. Thanks for helping me out there. Namita Ji, I didn't remember 269 ST, but Sumit has helped you. Okay, thank you. Okay, Namita, thank you very much. And thanks to all of you who sent Teachers' Day greetings to me. And I really, really appreciate that. Good night. See you again on Thursday on arbitration and conciliation. Good night. Sir, class over, sir? Yes, sir.